The Montana Grizzlies rolled through the Big Sky Conference season with a perfect 11-0 record. Standing in their way to start the postseason, a Wofford Terriers club that knocked off Appalachian State earlier in the year. Are the Grizzlies set for another run through the playoffs, or will the Terriers play the Giant Killer one more time? Round 1 of the NCAA Division I Football Championship is next.
If there are any Thanksgiving leftovers left in the fridge, now might be a good time to go get them out and make yourself up a snack, because we are in for some playoff football this afternoon. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula. Phil Buck, Grady Bennett alongside me to bring you today's first-round playoff matchup between the Montana Grizzlies and the Wofford Terriers. And we will see an option attack from the Wofford offense today, led by Kevius Johnson.
You know, Kevius Johnson's a back. He's not big in stature, but he's very big in stats. If you see, he's only 5'9", 205, so he's built low to the ground, but he's a real explosive runner. I think the most impressive thing as you look at these stats, he's rushed for 1,057 yards, but the thing that pops out at you is that 7-yard per carry average. That is an amazing average, and what makes it so special is he doesn't get that many touches. They spread their touches out a lot. A lot of backs today are going to carry the ball for Wofford, so this is a guy that's making the most of every single time he touches the football.
Well, the Montana defense has been preparing for this option offense of the Terriers all week long, and of course that Grizzly defense led by Buck Buchanan Award candidate and finalist Croy Bierman.
Well, really, what can you say about Croy Bierman? It seems like we highlight him at the top of our broadcast almost every week. And, you know, I guess all I can say right now is congratulations, Croy, because he was named this week as the Big Sky Defensive MVP. So, very much deserving. And, again, he just so epitomizes everything that Grizzly defense stands for. And, obviously, they're going to need him to lead them today if they're going to stop the Wofford Terriers. A very excellent option attack offense.
Well, the Grizzlies have had trouble with option teams in the past. It remains to be seen how they will handle the Terriers offense today. A crisp, clear, chilly day in Missoula. And stick around, because we will be back with kickoff of today's first round football championship subdivision playoff matchup between the Terriers and Grizzlies next on College Football Saturday.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay, Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern.
The Dick Smith Automotive Outlet final year in clearance is still going on, but the clock is ticking to save thousands on a huge selection of brand new 2007 Hyundais. Like new 2007 Hyundai Elantra is now only $236 a month with no money down. New 2007 Hyundai Sonatas up to $4,300 off MSRP. Even pre-owned Hyundais are all clearance priced during the final year in clearance sale right here at the Dick Smith Automotive Outlet, exit I-385 and Roper Mountain exit.
Welcome to Spartanburg, the proud home of America's premier all-star high school football event, the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. And the action returns to Gibbs Stadium at Wofford College with a 1 p.m. kickoff Saturday, December 15th. Thanks to our generous sponsors, the South Carolina Sandlappers will take on the North Carolina Tar Heels for the toughest high school football battle in the country. Bring the whole family out for the thrills, chills, and excitement. Once a year, every year since 1937, it's a Carolina tradition.
Today's NCAA Division I Football Championship Subdivision First Round Playoff game is brought to you by Northwestern Energy, delivering a bright future. Universal Athletic Service, for the athlete in all of us. PPL Montana, putting our energy in Montana communities. The University of Montana, discover your future at the University of Montana. Sterling Savings Bank, the perfect fit bank. And the Montana Wood Products Association, promoting healthy forests and healthy communities through active management of Montana forests.
And deferred. Welcome to Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula, everybody. Phil Buck, Grady Bennett, Derek Berkeley down on the sidelines today as the Wofford Terriers come to Montana to face the third seed Montana Grizzlies here in this first round matchup of the football championship subdivision playoffs. And the Grizzlies taking the field here in Missoula.
Well, unbelievable excitement, Phil, and what can you say? This is the FCS. I think I'm finally getting used to saying that. It took me a couple years from the 1AA, but what it stands for is so significant. Football Championship Series. And you know, Phil, the more I listen to broadcasters and watch games on TV, I think people are getting more and more excited about the fact that this thing is settled right here on the field. Yes, we have the BCS, the Bowl Championship Series, but as you watch people keep getting knocked off, LSU goes down yesterday, and there's just so much question. It's just hard not to say, why not settle it on the darn football field? Well, that's what we get right here, folks. The FCS division, it's a playoff, 16 of the top teams in the country, and they get after it for 4 weeks to decide the true national championship. And here we go in Missoula, Montana.
Let's send it down to the third member of our team today, Derek Berkeley, down on the sidelines. And we will check in with Derek here in a bit. He's checking on the temperatures down on the field here at game time. It is a chilly day in Missoula. As you can see, snow on the hills, snow in the valley. And it has come early here in Missoula. Not usually this much snow and this cold the week of Thanksgiving. As we get set to get this game underway, the Grizzlies won the coin flip. They deferred, and the Wofford Terriers will get the ball to start the game.
Well, that's an interesting decision. You know, a lot of thought went into that, of course, and what are you going to do? Every game there's a decision made whether you want to receive or defer and kick off, and obviously Bobby Houck wants to let his defense get out there right away and take its first shot at this excellent option attack that Wofford's going to give him today.
And the kick taken by Mike Rucker and gets it out just past the 30-yard line. That's where the Terriers will take over. And let's take a look now at our starters on defense for the Montana Grizzlies, brought to you by Allegiance Benefit Plan Management, your benefits at work.
Troy Bierman, Hardin High School.
Kelly Kane, CM Russell High.
Craig Metler, Walla Walla, Washington. Johnson, Madison, and twice.
Mike Stadnick, Regina, Saskatchewan.
Kyle Ryan, Billings West High.
Lone Utterback, Fort Bend High School.
Tyler Joyce, Aurora, Colorado.
Quentin Jackson, in Emerald City, Seattle, Washington.
CC, Chris Clark, Hub City, Compton, California.
Troy Thomas, Beaver County High School, Dillon, Montana.
First and 10, Josh Colley,
High School,
the pitch.
America.
And Johnson with a hole across the 40, taken down short of midfield, and it's a fumble. Montana recovers.
Well, you can see how effective this attack is right out of the gates here. A huge hole on the edge for Kevius Johnson, but what a big hit from his safety position, I believe, or is that Tyler Joyce, the outside linebacker? Tyler Joyce. No, it was Colt Anderson out of Butte, Montana. Colt Anderson from his safety position with the big hit. You see the replay right here. Excellent option. Joyce does force the pitch, but Kevius Johnson with his great speed gets to the edge, and then here comes Colt Anderson, delivers a blow, puts his shoulder pad right on the football.
So the Grizzlies take over after the turnover early on. Lex Hilliard with the carry on first down, a gain of 2, bringing up 2nd and 8.
Well, the Grizz really got their run game going last week against Montana State. Lex Hilliard has 180 yards last week against the Bobcats and really did what Coach Houck wants to do, just continue to pound that football and wear teams down.
Cole Bergquist, the junior quarterback from San Clemente, California, under center to throw on 2nd down and brought down in the backfield, sacked. And let's now take a look at our offensive starters for the Montana Grizzlies, again brought to you by Allegiance Benefit Plan Management, your benefits at work.
Cole Bergquist from San Clemente, California.
Lex Hilliard, Flyhead High School.
Eric Allen, Colorado Springs, Colorado.
Mark Mariani, Havre High School. Mike Farrader, Helena High School.
Stephen Failer, Frenchtown, Montana.
Cody Baylog, Stoughton, Washington.
J.D. Quinn, Garland, Texas.
Colin Dow, Billings Senior High.
Terry Gilliam, Sydney High School.
Brent Russum, Lewiston, Idaho.
Matt Norsha, the junior linebacker, with the sack on 2nd down, brings up 3rd and 14. Bergquist forced out of the pocket, gets rid of it through the hands of Mike Farrader at the 30-yard line, and that will bring up 4th down.
Well, that was an outstanding play right there by Cole Bergquist, avoiding the sack. Looked like he was going to go down while he was in the pocket, but somehow he spins out of it. And then what he does a great job of, as he gets to the sideline, he stops and he's patient, and he waits for one of his receivers to work open for him. Look right here. He works to the sideline, and instead of just forcing the play, he's just going to sit down and be patient, and then finds Ferreter. That would have been good enough for a first down, so an unfortunate drop for Mike Ferreter. You won't see that very often, folks.
So the Terriers dodging a bullet after turning the ball over to start the game. They force a 3-and-out. Tyson Johnson on to punt for the Grizzlies. Jeremy Marshall lets it take a bounce at the 2-yard line, and it skips into the end zone. A 46-yard punt goes for a touchback. Let's take a look now at our offensive starters for the Wofford Terriers. Again, brought to you by Allegiance Benefit Plan Management. Your benefits at work. Josh Collier, the senior quarterback from Bon Air, Georgia, leading this team both through the air and on the ground. One play from the Terriers on their opening possession. Colt Anderson, the safety from Butte, forcing a fumble. Josh Collier out of the shotgun on first down. Keeps it himself. Trying to find room, but wrapped up and brought down by Torrey Thomas.
Well, that's the key right there. All day long, you saw the first play on the last series, which ended up being a fumble. But if the Terriers can get to the edge of the Montana defense, that's what they want to do. And obviously, they're going to hit it up inside at times too. But if they can get to the edge, Montana will be in trouble. But the more Montana can string it out, make it bounce along the line, east and west, if they can continue to string plays out all day, they have enough speed to make tackles on the edge. That'll be the battle to watch for today.
2nd and 9. The give is to Michael Hobbs, the senior fullback, up the middle. Hobbs rumbles for a first down.
Well, as you watch this option attack today, a lot of fans have heard of different kinds of option. The fact is, this Wofford Terrier team, they run almost every kind of option known to man, and they do it all well. To run a good option scheme, you have to execute. That's the key, is you need great execution, great blocking up front, and just great mesh and execution by your backfield, and they do all of those very well.
Collier to throw, and he's picked off by Colt Anderson.
Colt Anderson coming up with 2 turnovers back-to-back for Montana. What a great play by Colt Anderson, and that's what it's going to take today for Montana's defense. It's going to take excellent reads, all defenders, linebackers, and safety reading their keys and understanding when it's pass versus when it's run. And right there, Colt Anderson does just that. He picks up his keys and sees that it's going to be a pass play, drops back into pass coverage, and then just reads the quarterback's eyes, makes a great break on the ball, and he is now given his offense 2 chances in a row to do something with the football.
1st and 10 for Montana. Lex Hilliard trying to find some room on the left side and picks up a couple. Let's take a look at our starters on defense for the Wofford Terriers. Brought to you by Allegiance Benefit Plan Management, your benefits at work. James Gonsolin, 39 tackles, 2.5 sacks on the defensive line. Seth Goldwire, the all-conference selection at linebacker. 2nd and 8 for Montana. Just short of midfield. Hilliard again. Picks up 5 up the middle. Will bring up 3rd and short.
Well, and Wofford's going to employ a 34 defense today, but they're really going to jump down. They're going to bring one of those linebackers down to the line of scrimmage, and it'll essentially be a 4-man front. But it is a 34 defense, and they're going to do a lot of slants and angles. They're not going to really take the Grizzlies on straight up chest to chest too much today. You're going to watch that defensive line is going to slant left or right and take a gap almost every play.
3rd and 2. Bergquist, the quick drop. Pass batted at the line of scrimmage, but hauled in by Eric Allen at the 40-yard line. Gets it down to the 39, and that's good enough for a first down for the Grizzlies.
Obviously, great concentration by Eric Allen. The ball was tipped, as you mentioned, defensive end. Comes up. I guess that was the outside linebacker on the edge. Good job getting his hands up. Eric Allen stays with it, but watch Wofford get people to the ball. This is something that Montana is so known for, and I don't really think a lot of teams match them in that area. But Wofford, a nice job of getting 11 guys to the football and involved in that tackle. Good pursuit. 1st
and 10 from the Terrier 39. Hilliard the lone back.
This is Hilliard. Flag on the play. First penalty of the afternoon. Today's officiating crew out of the Southland Conference, and it will be a hold on the Grizzlies.
Holding, 87 of the offense. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay first down.
Rick Lumiere wearing the white hat today. Bobby Houck, the head coach of Montana, now in his 5th season, fresh off a perfect 11-0 regular season.
Well, it was an outstanding year for Montana. Running the table does not happen very often. I really think people don't understand really how hard it is to get wins. And sometimes here at Montana, it can almost start taking that for granted. But to go 11-0, just an outstanding accomplishment by Coach Houck, his staff, and of course these players.
Grizzlies spread out on 1st and 20. Bergquist rushed and wrapped up. Ryan Young, the junior from Cincinnati, Ohio, the powerhouse program at St. Xavier High School, with the rush and the quarterback sack, his 3rd on the season.
Well, and it simply looks like a mistake up front in Montana's offensive line, just lack of communication. Kind of looked like Colin Dow, the center, he stepped to the right, and the left guard just didn't help him out right there. Just J.D. Quinn and Colin Dow not communicating and letting a guy come unblocked. Good play, but really pretty easy for him.
2nd and 29, the screen to Hilliard. Goes nowhere.
Well, and right now, give Wofford a lot of credit. They are not as big as Montana. There's a lot of talk made about the size differential, both offensively and defensively. But the quickness right now for Wofford is really showing up, and they're doing a nice job, you'll see, of wrapping up the legs of Lex Hilliard. That's the way you tackle a big back. Get down and wrap those legs up.
James Mitchell, the junior linebacker, with the tackle on Hilliard. 1-yard gain brings up 3rd and 28. Bergquist out of the shotgun. Shovel pass to Hilliard. Has blockers across midfield. Brought down at the 46-yard line, well short of a first down, however. And the Terriers, after turning the ball over twice on their first 2 possessions, don't allow any points. And on comes the punt team for Montana yet again.
Yeah, you got to give that Terrier defensive unit just a ton of credit. 2 turnovers in a row, but they flat come out there and just turn Montana back. And in fact, on both drives, really kind of back them up. Great job. Coach Ayers has to be very happy with his defense thus far.
Jeremy Marshall standing at his own 10-yard line. Tyson Johnson gets the snap. The punt is off. Marshall calls for a fair catch, taken at the 6-yard line. A 43-yard punt. And Wofford will take over again when we come back. Still scoreless in the 1st.
Here, all the way back to the 15.
John Parker Wilson bounced back a little bit for 2 touchdowns.
The reigning champions, the biggest rivals, and experts who take you inside the games. Nobody covers sports like HBO. Call 1-877-SAVE-559 to get HBO with HBO On Demand now for as little as $5 a month. And go to charter.net for a chance to win the ultimate sports weekend sweepstakes, including tickets to the BCS Championship game in New Orleans. Get HBO from Charter. Enter the sweepstakes, and may the best fan win.
This is a man who almost learned to walk at a rehab center that almost got built by people who almost gave money. Almost gave. How good is almost giving? About as good as almost walking.
The Montana Grizzlies, after getting 2 turnovers in the first 5 minutes of the ball game, failing to capitalize, still scoreless. The Terriers now taking over with a 1st and 10 from their own 6. Collier, the pitch to Kevius Johnson, hitting the backfield. Quentin Jackson comes up to make the play.
Quentin Jackson, who had a huge game last week against Montana State, came up and made play after play. I just thought it was his best game that I've seen him play. Doing it again, playing responsibility football, staying on the pitchback, and not only staying and staying with his responsibility, but making the play. That's the key against a team like this. You have to make plays when you get chances. Quentin Jackson does it right there.
Loss of 3 on the play brings up 2nd and 13. Collier, the handoff. Up the middle, has lots of room. And a pickup of about 5. Let's send it down to Derek Berkeley, the 3rd member of our team on the sidelines. Derek, a little chilly out there.
Mike Ayers has been saying all week that the weather's not going to be a problem for Wofford, but the average temperature in Spartanburg, South Carolina in the last week, a high of 69, a low of 31. Right now, we're hovering somewhere about under 30 degrees, and you can see everybody's breath. I think it might even be, it feels a lot colder than that. So the temperature, definitely something they're going to have to get used to.
Thank you very much, Derek. 3rd and 1 for the Terriers. Play blown dead, and it should be a false start.
False start, 73 of the offense. Penalties half distance to the goal, replay 3rd down.
Ben Miller, the junior guard, flagged for the penalty, so 3rd and 6 now coming up for the Terriers.
You know, I'm always interested, Phil, to get the reaction of the opposing coaches and opposing players after the game, because these guys played against NC State. Wofford played at NC State this year in front of 82,000 fans, so definitely they're used to this, but there's something different about coming in here to Montana, and it's always interesting to hear the reaction of what they think compared to those big stadiums when they play here in Missoula.
You see Collier trying to get his ducks in a row. Hands off to Johnson, and it's a reverse. Having the corner and a lot more room is Dane Romero. Romero forced out of bounds at the 41-yard line, but a big gain to get the Terriers some room and move the chains.
Well, again, you talk about execution. That's what this team does so well. They just simply execute their schemes. They block well, they block assignment football, and they do it very well, and big chunks of yardage. They really were very confident all week. Anytime you talk to anybody associated with Wofford, their confidence level was so high. They truly don't believe that anybody can stop them, but they have the proof to back it up. They average 38 points a game, and number 2 rushing team in the country, so they definitely have backed that up thus far this year.
The pitch to Johnson on 1st and 10. Johnson picks up about 8 before he's forced out of bounds. 2nd and short coming up. 2nd and about 3.
Well, and you can see why the 7-yard per carry average, just very, very impressive. A lot of times what happens in a scheme like this is, as a running back, you know, like if you're Lex Hilliard, you know you're going to pack the ball maybe 30 times a game. You know you're going to get your carries. If you're Kevius Johnson, hey, your touches are going to be limited. You know that every time you touch the ball, you're going to share those carries with a lot of players on your team. You have to make the most of it. So the motivation to run well and run hard actually goes up, and you find backs trying maybe a little bit harder.
Collier talking to his lineman on 2nd and 2. The give up the middle to Hobbs. Hobbs with 1st down yardage out to the Montana 44.
Boy, just so much fun to watch. These guys execute up front every blocking scheme. They've got a man where they're supposed to be. And again, not only executing the scheme and getting people in place. This is just a little trap play right here, but it's done so well. I mean, they just do a nice job, and then the backs are all very good. Obviously, gifted skill positions, can run well inside or out. And just going to be fun today to watch these guys execute, and fun watching Montana try to adjust and stop it.
1st and 10, Terriers in Grizzly territory. The handoff to Adrian Young. Adrian Young met after a gain of 1. He did gain 1 before they gave him forward progress, so that's 2nd and 9 upcoming.
Well, and that's probably the one thing that Montana have to play in their hands a little bit, just to run it right at them. That's just a little zone read play right there, something that they see a lot in practice, of course, the Grizzlies being a zone team. So a little bit easier for them to stop. Right now, the deception, the misdirection, really giving the Grizzlies trouble here early on.
center on 2nd and 8. Marshall trying to find some room, forced out of bounds by Tyler Joyce. No gain on the play.
Well, the one thing about this Montana defense, Phil, we've seen at times teams been able to get a little bit of success from 20 to 20, move the ball a little bit, maybe have one good drive, but they are so good at adjusting, figuring things out. It's a sign of a well-coached team, and it's also a sign of players who are just good football players with a lot of savvy, who understand the game, and as the game unfolds, they're able to figure out schemes and start to figure out where teams are trying to attack them and settle in and start to make stops. And right now it looks like Montana's defense is starting to settle in here.
3rd and 9. And the Terriers are going to talk things over. As they do, we take a break. Still scoreless in Missoula.
Don't miss the Alabama at Auburn college football replay. Sunday afternoon at 5 Eastern.
CSS is Talking Outdoors with Rusty Falk, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Rusty on hunting and fishing adventures with some of the top outdoorsmen from around the region. While in studio, Rusty and special guests will help you become the ultimate outdoorsman with tips, tactics, and the latest gear. You'll also learn ways to help our wildlife through proper management and ways to bring new outdoorsmen into the sport. Don't miss Talking Outdoors with Rusty Falk, presented by Equalizer Tree Stands.
Don't miss the Clemson at South Carolina college football replay, Sunday at noon Eastern.
Wofford with a 3rd and 9 from the Montana 43. Still scoreless in the first quarter of this first-round playoff matchup between the Grizzlies and Terriers. Collier out of the shotgun. Pitches to Kevius Johnson. Johnson forced out of bounds before he can pick up a first down. Quentin Jackson with the coverage. 4th and 3 upcoming.
Well, it's just fun to watch right here. And again, what Montana's going to try to do, their only chance, their only hope, good blocking on the perimeter, is just to continue to string it laterally. Force it to the sideline, get people to the ball. And on 4th and 3, Wofford, confident in their offense, is going to go for it.
Head coach Mike Ayers, this is something he does quite often on 4th down and short. The handoff to the fullback, and Hobbs has a first down.
Well, how much confidence is that? Not only do you go for it on 4th and 3, but you just give it to your fullback straight up the middle. That is simply believing in your offensive line. Look at the push up front, just getting off the ball. Outstanding job by Wofford up front. And of course, the keys for Montana defensively are, number one, they've got to hold that line of scrimmage. If they get movement, if they get that much movement, Wofford, it's going to be a lot harder for the linebackers then to get off blocks and find those running backs on this option scheme.
1st and 10 after the 4th down conversion. Collier, the pitch, and has his wide receiver Justice Jocelyn on the reverse. Jocelyn trying to find some room and wrapped up for a loss of 1.
Well, a lot of things that Wofford does are almost going to look like trickery, but it's really not. It's just part of their scheme. So you're going to see a lot of this stuff, reverses and tosses and double reverses. You're going to see halfback option passes. Almost every play, or almost every game this year, they've scored on these types of plays. And again, it's not trickery. It's just part of what they do. And it's what it is getting more athletes involved in carrying the ball. So instead of just giving it to one running back or two, you're involving all of your athletes in the run game scheme.
Actually picked up a yard on the play, brings up 2nd and 9.
Again, the give to Hobbs, met at the line of scrimmage by Kyle Ryan and Tyler Joyce. Brings up 3rd and 8.
Well, and of course the key, along I said earlier, defensively the key is making your reads, but the main key defensively against option football of any kind is to play your responsibility. You've got to have guys responsible for tackling the dive back. You've got to have guys responsible for taking the quarterback and making him pitch, and you've got to have guys on that pitch back, and that's the key, is fighting off blocks and making sure you have people playing their responsibilities. All it takes is one guy to run away from his job to try to do somebody else's job, and you're going to get a big play.
10th play of this drive for the Terriers. The pitch to Johnson. Across the 25, hit at the 20. Out of bounds at inside the 20. Torrey Thomas with the hit, but another first down picked up by the Terriers.
Well, and then you look at what kind of team Coach Ayers has. As far as when I say team, I mean what kind of togetherness, what kind of commitment do they have to each other. Watch this, Dane Romero on the outside. What a great block for his buddy Kevius Johnson, and that's the key. These guys are so unselfish. Yeah, they might only get 10, 12 carries. They're not going to get as many as some other teams' main feature backs, but they're unselfish. They're a team. They're going to block for each other. Great job by Romero on the edge.
Hobbs finding some room over the left side, picks up about 4 just inside the 15-yard line.
Well, and this was kind of everybody's fear that Wofford could come in here and just put together some good long drives, take a lot of time off the clock, and something that Montana's defense was going to have a hard time stopping. So the key was getting some turnovers. Well, the Grizz come out right away and get 2 back-to-back, but unfortunately for Montana, nothing out of those drives. So here it is, Wofford with the ball the 3rd time, and you just really almost can't count on your defense to continue to turn the ball over time after time.
2nd and 6. The pitch to Justin, makes a fingertip catch and ruled down.
And just after I say that, Phil, I thought the Grizzly defenders were going to look up at me and say, oh yeah, we'll turn them over again. But again, a great job right here of just stringing it out. Wide pitch, trying to get to the outside, and Lauren Utterback just flying up, Colt Anderson flying up and almost forcing another turnover.
So 3rd and 8 coming up for the Terriers. Again, not a team that kicks very much. They pick up a few on this play. Don't be surprised if they go for it again on 4th down. Kevius Johnson moving to the left of Collier. And they give it to Hobbs. Hobbs across the 15-yard line, and that's all he gets.
Well, last week we highlighted the Grizzlies' red zone defense, just so tough. And, you know, it's so fun to talk to Coach Paulson about the pride that this group of kids has. When somebody gets in the red zone, they have so much pride, just flat do not want anybody to get in their end zone. And boy, do they stiffen when we get down here. Almost every game they've had somebody drive the field on them, but when they get into the red zone, it's just a no-go.
Well, Ayers sends out the kicking team. Patrick Mugen, the junior place kicker, has only attempted 9 field goals on the season, and the 10th is money. The Terriers on the board first. They take a 3-0 lead late in the first quarter. We'll be right back from Missoula.
Guy's a proven veteran and a big game pitcher. He says he tweaked his back and needs to go on the DL. He needs to go on the DL.
Oh, please, will you give me a break? The guy is a wuss. He pitches once every 5 days. He's in the worst division in baseball. He is a spoiled, pampered softy. Easy on the cuticles.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning.
They said Cody had no chance.
Like you're gonna do anything.
It's gonna be awesome.
And Joe was just plain chicken.
Treat me as their king and put me in a hot tub.
But now...
Who wants to see the little guy take on the champ?
Little guys rule!
They're gonna have to team up
Surf's up, dude.
to take on a challenge this big.
This is gonna be fun, huh?
I know!
Surf's Up, now on demand.
Tune to Channel 999 to watch this movie anytime with Charter on Demand.
Welcome to Spartanburg, the proud home of America's premier all-star high school football event, the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. And the action returns to Gibbs Stadium at Wofford College with a 1 p.m. kickoff Saturday, December 15th. Thanks to our generous sponsors, the South Carolina Sandlappers will take on the North Carolina Tar Heels for the toughest high school football battle in the country. Bring the whole family out for the thrills, chills, and excitement. Once a year, every year since 1937, it's a Carolina tradition.
Wofford, despite 2 turnovers in the first quarter, drawing first blood here in Missoula, a 3-0 lead late in the first quarter. There's your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive for news and statistics on all Grizz athletics. Log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com.
Well, and that defines it, Phil. That is exactly what Wofford wants to do. 16 plays, every single play a run, take off about 8 minutes of the clock, a huge chunk. That is exactly what this Wofford team is all about. Great execution in the running game.
Rob Schulte takes the kickoff inside the 20, returns it out across the 40-yard line. So the Grizzlies will have good field position to take over on this possession. Again, folks, remember, coming up near the end of the game, we will present the Northwestern Energy players of the game.
Well, and the Grizzlies really are just one block away. You'll see number 48 right there, the lone guy. If he's blocked, a chance for Schulte maybe to get up the sideline and get to the house. But nice play of staying home. Charles Brown makes the potentially touchdown-saving tackle for Wofford.
1st and 10 for Montana. Looking to get this offense going. Bergquist out of the shotgun. Swings it to Mike Ferreter on a bubble screen. Ferreter picks up 2 before he's brought down at the 45-yard line.
Well, again, really impressed with the speed and quickness and the agility of this Wofford defense, something not really talked about. They actually don't stand out too significantly statistically when you look at them over the course of the year. They've given up quite a few points. Their ranking's not too high in any necessary category, but so far today, their quickness is really showing up.
Lex Hilliard with the carry on 2nd down, lowers the shoulder across the 45, picks up another 2 yards before he's swallowed up by the Terrier defense. 3rd and 6 coming up.
Boy, and swallowed up, Phil, is a great way to describe it. At the outset of this play, it looked like a big play potentially. Lex bounces to the outside. Boy, this play looked like it could be just absolutely huge. But again, I don't see a lot of teams that match Montana Grizzlies, how they fly to the football. But you watch how many Terriers get in on this tackle. We don't see it at the end of the replay, but a great job of pursuit by the Terrier defense.
3rd and 6. Bergquist has time. Hangs on to it and has Mark Mariani across the 30. Tripped up just short of the 25-yard line by Gary Blunt, but a 1st down pickup for the Grizzlies is Cole Bergquist making things happen.
Yes, absolutely, and another good patient play by Cole Bergquist. I really like what he's doing as he escapes the pocket. He did it earlier, and unfortunately for him, Ferreter dropped the ball, but instead of just taking off and running and maybe not getting the 1st down, look at how patient he is. Just giving it time, letting his receivers work. Mariani had worked all the way from the left side, comes all the way across the field. That's going to end the first quarter. We've got a great game going on here, Phil.
That we do. Terriers with a 3-0 lead on the road. Start of the 2nd quarter coming up here on College Football Saturday.
Tonight on CSS, tune in at 7 Eastern for live football as Florida Atlantic visits Florida International. Stay tuned for championship boxing at 10:30.
Want to win big in your fantasy football league? Every week, join John Borick, fantasy guru John Hansen, and Bodog.net's Marshall Falk for top projections, injury updates, and sleepers.
Fantasy Fix on CSS, Thursday afternoons at 5 Eastern. Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State college football replay. Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern.
Start of the second quarter in Missoula. Grizzlies trailing the Wofford Terriers 3-0, but Montana with a 1st and 10 from the Wofford 26. Eric Allen in motion on first down. Bergquist swings it to Allen. Has a blocker across the 20, forced out of bounds. Well, they're going to say he was out of bounds at the 20-yard line, a couple yards short of the first down.
Well, just simply overload the formation, bring Eric Allen in motion from the right side across the formation to your doubles receiver side, and Wofford just really didn't adjust with anybody in the secondary, and he definitely stepped out right there. But a nice play. Again, don't really bring anybody over and just kind of overload with your receivers and run the bubble screen.
Here's a look at your rushing yards team-wise for the first quarter. Terriers with a sizable advantage. Grizzlies with negative yardage on the ground after the couple big sacks. And on first down, Bergquist looking to the outside for Eric Allen. A bit of miscommunication. Sails out of bounds, and incompletion brings up 3rd and 4.
Well, the Grizz trying to run the Terriers came up to blitz, and I'm not sure if he checked to it or if it was just a good call, but trying to run the double slant on the outside, and Dan Tavani, strong safety, just read it perfectly and rolls up in there. And it's actually probably a good thing it wasn't an accurate throw, or Tavani might be still running towards the end zone.
4 wide out for Montana on 3rd and 4. Rob Schulte, the man in motion. Bergquist unloads it. Had Eric Allen in and out of his hands. Incompletion brings up 4th down.
Well, we saw that play last week against Montana State several times. A good play to beat the blitz, good call. Coach Fennessy recognizing blitz is coming, perfect call. Cole throws a great ball, and Eric Allen just kind of takes his eyes off it before he corrals it in there. And Mr. Automatic, I hate to jinx him, I hope I don't, but Mr. Automatic comes on to tie this up.
Dan Carpenter to attempt a 37-yard field goal and knocks it through. Grizzlies tie it up early on in the second. We will be right back from Missoula.
Here, all the way back to the 15.
John Parker Wilson bounced back a little bit with 2 touches.
Hey, it's our friend Bob. Looks like Bob continues to enjoy the big lift he gets from Enzyte and natural male enhancement. With over 10 million packs sold, Enzyte is firmly the #1 selling brand, bringing true natural male enhancement to men all over the world. Now you can join Bob and the millions of men who fully enjoy the benefits of Enzyte. Just call or visit Enzyte.com for a sample pack of the strongest, most powerful Enzyte formula yet. Enjoy the full, robust confidence that only Enzyte can provide. If you've ever been curious about natural male enhancement, there's never been a better time to try a sample pack of Enzyte. Visit Enzyte.com or call toll-free for a sample pack. Call right now and you'll also get 2 free packs of Enzyte Topical Rush. With an offer this big, it's enough to throw a parade. Sample packs are in stock now and shipped to you within 48 hours. Offer only good while supplies last. Limit 1 per household. Enzyte, the once daily tablet for natural male enhancement.
All tied up in Missoula after Dan Carpenter's 17th field goal of the year. And with that, Dan Carpenter becomes the all-time leader in the football championship subdivision with career field goals. That's his 73rd career field goal. Congratulations to Dan Carpenter as he kicks it off. Kickoff taken by Maurice Falk. Falk across the 30, brought down at the 32-yard line.
Well, #2 in the nation in rushing offense are the Wofford Terriers. They average 318 yards a game. And Phil, they already have 114 in the first quarter. So on pace here for a 460-yard day. Montana definitely needs to make some adjustments and start to get some things shut down.
1st and 10 for the Terriers.
Pitch to Johnson. Has room across the 40. Johnson across midfield. A stiff arm at the 35-yard line. Brought down at the 33. Big run for Kevius Johnson.
Well, and again, you see just outstanding execution. Watch Collier, your quarterback. Okay, he's going to read the dive right there. Croy Bierman crushes it down, so he keeps it, makes the pitch to the edge, and that's the key, is getting to the edge. We talked about it at the top of the broadcast. If Wofford is able to get to the edge time after time, it's going to be really hard for Montana.
Terriers into Grizzly territory on that play. 1st and 10 from the Montana 33. Give to Hobbs. Met at the line of scrimmage. Picks up maybe 1 on the play.
Well, and here's what's hard defensively, Phil, is you give up big plays like that, and it's hard not panic necessarily, but your first instinct sometimes is just to want to blitz it. You want to do something to create some problems, and a lot of times when you blitz, that's when you really start giving up the big plays. You got to just hang in there and be disciplined. The other thing that happens is players want to make too much happen, and again, they don't do their job. They want to do somebody else's job because they're a little bit frustrated, and again, that's when big plays happen. You got to stay disciplined and keep doing your job time after time.
2nd and 9, Trip Smith. The wide receiver in motion. Again, the handoff to Hobbs. No, Collier actually up the middle. And Collier picking up about 4. So 3rd and 6 coming up.
Well, the quarterback in an offense like this just has to be really a magician. He's got to do a great job with his ball fakes and try to just be very deceptive and not let the defense know who has the ball. And so far, Josh Collier doing a wonderful job of that.
3rd and 5 for the Terriers. The pitch to Johnson. Diving for the 1st down and picks it up.
Well, and you just see, well, it's going to be close. Yeah. You see the strength. It will have to maybe even be a measurement play, but you see the strength of Kevius Johnson. Colt Anderson is there, but again, 5'9", 205, very big down low. I'd like to know what his squat is. I bet he squats a lot of weight, but he does pick up the 1st down, and you can just see how powerful he is. Very explosive with the way he's built, those short, powerful legs.
Johnson, a philosophy major at Wofford. 1st and 10 now from the Montana 23. And another timeout taken by Mike Ayers. We'll take 1, too. Still all tied up 3 apiece.
Don't miss the Miami at Boston College football replay. Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
Hi folks, Brian Pavin here to tell you about some great deals going on right now at Piedmont Chrysler Jeep Dodge, and it's Chrysler's once-in-a-lifetime event. How about a 2008 convertible Sebring, just $299 a month? Want a lower payment? How about a 2008 Charger for just $269 a month? And you can drive the all-new Chrysler Town & Country Touring Van for just $259 a month and go all the way to the top of the mountain for just $199 a month on this Jeep Wrangler, and all with limited lifetime warranty. Come take a test drive today.
Heroes come in all shapes and sizes. No one asked them if they were old enough to fight for their lives. So our greatest heroes don't have to fight alone. The Ronald McDonald House of the Carolinas provides a caring home for families of children undergoing major medical treatment. Help us grow so we can help heroes win.
Fluor is proud to join with the Ronald McDonald House in a shared vision of hope for children, working together in our community and around the globe.
Terriers on the move again. 1st and 10 from the Montana 23. Josh Collier getting everything straight with his blockers. Collier has room, keeps it himself inside the 20, brought down at the 15-yard line.
Boy, you just see again, excellent read by Josh Collier. This time the shotgun option zone read play. He's going to read the defensive end, and Mike Stadnick comes down just a little bit too much, and he reads it and pulls it. See the end of the play right there, 91. Mike Stadnick just came down a little bit too much. Collier keeps it, and so quick and explosive really are all the backs for Wofford. Any one of them can really hurt you with their speed and quickness.
Collier's best game on the ground of the season coming last week at Chattanooga. 191 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns on the day. Collier again. Finding room on the right side, has a first down before he's hit by Torrey Thomas, just short of the 10-yard line.
Well, he's very fast. Talked about the speed and quickness last play, but that's really going to be the key, is getting your licks in. The Grizzlies, of course, defensively always want to try to get a lot of people to the football and really punish the runner with those second, third, fourth, fifth people that get to the football. Unfortunately, when you spread them out so much with a good option attack, you're oftentimes only going to get one player making the tackle, as is the case right there with Torrey Thomas.
1st and 10 from the Terriers. They can pick up another first down if they get to the 1-yard line. A handoff to Hobbs, met at the line of scrimmage by Kyle Ryan.
Well, good read by Kyle Ryan, the inside linebacker for Montana, playing his responsibility, which is the dive. Avoids a block, makes a good read, and just makes an excellent form tackle face to face with Hobbs. Big play, Phil, and I think it's probably the shortest play for Wofford today. They gained only a half a yard.
Hobbs, the finance major, had a 99-yard touchdown run against Georgia Southern earlier in the year. That tied an NCAA record. 2nd and 9 for the Terriers. Collier, the pitch to Dane Romero, has blockers. Hit and brought down by Colt Anderson short of the goal line, but Romero gets inside the 5-yard line.
Well, and a lot of teams obviously run different schemes which try to get them to the edge. Of course, the toss scheme, and there's various option teams. They all want to try to get to the edge, but these guys seem to get to the edge so quickly and with such good blocking. And Grizzly fans have to be wondering right now, watching this on TV, how are they getting out there so fast and there's just nobody there? Again, it's quickness, it's great execution, and good blocking.
3rd and 2. Terriers knocking on the door. Collier, again the pitch to Romero into the end zone. Touchdown. Romero, his 5th rushing touchdown on the season, and the Terriers take a 9-3 lead.
Well, Josh Collier just executing this option attack to perfection. You'll see right here, he's going to ride that dive hard, keep the ball. Grizzly defenders on the edge somewhat lost, and Romero just walks into the end zone.
Patrick Mugen's extra point up and good. So the Terriers take a 10-3 lead as they march down the field yet again. Montana will try to answer when we come back.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern.
The Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas brings family fun, thrills, and excitement back home to Spartanburg at Wofford College's Gibbs Stadium on Saturday, December 15th with a 1 p.m. kickoff. Don't miss a second of the action. It's a great time for the whole family. We've got the greatest players, sponsors, fans, and the greatest home on earth, Spartanburg and the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. It's a Carolina tradition.
Great Great news, South Carolina. You asked for it, and now Charter has it. Unlimited South Carolina local and in-state calling for only $19.99 a month for up to 12 months. Call Charter today, 1-877-SAVE-188. This incredible rate includes all in-state calling, caller ID, call waiting, call forwarding, and more. Switching is easy, and you keep your current number. Act now and get free installation. Enjoy unlimited local and in-state calling for only $19.99 a month for up to 12 months. Call Charter today, 1-877-SAVE-188.
Dane Romero gives the Terriers a 10-3 lead on his 4th rushing touchdown of the year. Junior out of Westchester, Ohio. Was a quarterback in high school. He often throws the ball as well. There's a look at your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive for news and statistics on all Grizzly athletics. Log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com. The short kick from the Terriers, taken outside the 30 by Carson Bender. Let's send it back down to Derek Berkeley on the sidelines.
Well, guys, one of the biggest challenges facing the Grizzlies, they just don't see an option attack like this very often. Earlier this week, Coach Houck was asked, when was the last time you've seen an option like this? He had to think back, and he said, not when he's been a coach here. He went back to when he was at Washington, and they played Air Force in 1999. So this is just something completely new to the Grizzlies, and it's probably going to take a while watching it on a field to figure it out, guys.
Well, thank you very much, Derek. Defensive coordinator Craig Paulson from Montana saying the most comparable offense he could think of to this option attack of Wofford was Delaware back in 1993, a team that came in here and squeaked out a 1-point win. Grady Ben.
Yeah, just an outstanding football game, and Coach Paulson was here on the staff at the time, and you're right, 49-48, and there was a lot of hopeless feelings in the stadium that day as the Grizzlies could really do nothing to stop that Delaware option attack. The other thing that's so hard that people don't understand is there's no way that you can simulate it. There's no way you can watch a couple hours worth of film and then teach your scout team how to even come close to simulating a great option attack like Wofford has.
2nd and 7. Bergquist off the play action, looking across the middle, intended for Mike Ferreter. It falls incomplete. Bergquist throwing into coverage, and that will bring up 3rd and 7.
Well, definitely throwing into coverage, Phil. You'll see when he releases this ball, it's a play action route, and only three guys go out into the pattern. You've got the tight end crossing underneath and throwing into coverage. You're right, 3 guys right there. Eric Allen was going deep, running the post. You see him at the end of the screen there. Cole Bergquist obviously made the wrong read on that. Lucky it's not intercepted. 3rd and 7, big play for Montana.
Rob Schulte in motion. Bergquist sitting in the pocket, completes it to Ferreter, has a first down and more across midfield, forced out of bounds at the 42-yard line.
Well, and why was that a big play for Montana? Because if they go 3 and out right there, Wofford, the last 2 drives, has had 27 plays well over 11 minutes of time off the clock. And if they come right back out on the field, the Montana defense, oh man, it's going to be almost impossible to ask them to come out and get another stop. So a huge 3rd down conversion for Montana's offense.
Bergquist feeling the pocket close in around him, but staying in there just in time to hit Ferreter for the first down. Grizzlies from the 42. Play action. Bergquist gets rid of it, has Dan Bowden, the tight end, stood up at the 36-yard line.
Well, a good first down play. Of course, it's always key with Montana's offense to get some good success on 1st and 2nd down, and then you have a better chance of converting 3rd downs. You know, when you think about 3rd down conversions, Cole Bergquist really coming of age this year. It's easy to judge a quarterback and his effectiveness in moving the chains and running an offense by his 3rd down conversion percentage. A quarterback that figures out what needs to be done to move the sticks on 3rd down. Cole Bergquist this year, 46% was Montana's offense efficiency on 3rd downs. Outstanding.
Bergquist throwing again, looking to the outside for Mike Ferreter, and ruled incomplete.
Well, a good play call. 2nd and 4, just run the little speed out. It's a timing pattern. Cole's just a little bit short, not quite enough. You see his left foot steps a little bit wide, and he ends up just a little bit short, and definitely an incompletion. Mike Ferreter does the right thing, comes up, shows the ball, tries to prove to the refs that he did catch it, but both refs doing a nice job and all over that. Again, another big 3rd down, 3rd and 4.
Hilliard the lone back.
Bergquist, the quick drop, has Eric Allen across the 30. Jab step inside the 25-yard line. Another first down for the Grizzlies.
One of the things Coach Fennessy felt very confident about was when Wofford did try to bring blitz. They don't blitz a lot. They sit in their base defense most of the time. But right here you'll see they're bringing both of the inside linebackers, and he was confident that when they did that, they'd have matchups like this on the perimeter. You see Eric Allen, just an easy hitch route completion, and then makes the corner miss, and almost a big play.
1st and 10 from the Wofford 24. Lex Hilliard on first down. Finds a hole up the middle and picks up about 3. Hilliard last week at Montana State, becoming the all-time career touchdown leader here at the University of Montana. He has 51 in his career.
An outstanding career Lex has had, obviously. Congratulations to him on that record, and obviously now he's in search of another very important record, the all-time yardage leader. He's closing in on it with every carrier. Yo Hansi, of course, is the record holder currently, and Lex continues to inch closer and closer to that standard.
2nd and 7 for the Grizzlies. Wofford comes on the blitz. Bergquist trying to buy some time and tucks it down inside the 20. Scrambles for a first down, forced out of bounds inside the 15-yard line.
I just continue to be so impressed with Cole Bergquist running the football. Again, it's so deceptive, and I think he catches defenders almost, it's just hard to figure out how fast he is or isn't. He takes off right here, and I think every defender thinks that they got a shot at him or are going to get him corralled, and then look at the little move right here. Just deceptively continues to work up the field and move the sticks. Great run by Cole Bergquist.
Bergquist, the team's 2nd leading rusher. 1st and 10. They hand off to Lex Hilliard. Has a hole. Lowers the shoulder at the 10-yard line and picks up 7.
Well, obviously the inside zone is the staple. It's the bread and butter for Montana, but throw in a little bit of outside zone. That's what this is right here. You'll see the Grizzly offensive linemen are just going to work to the outside. You're going to down block where you have that angle, and you're going to pull guys that are uncovered around to the edge and work the outside zone. They run it very, very well, and Lex right there, a 7-yard gain on first down.
3 wide for the Grizzlies on 2nd and 4. Bergquist out of the shotgun. Reads the zone, takes it himself, met at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Well, and one of the things that you'll get with this defense, which again is not going to come straight up chest to chest very often, you're going to see a lot of slants and a lot of angles. So as the defensive line takes off, sometimes it's going to be feast or famine. If they happen to slant correctly into that play call, sometimes it ends up being a good play for them, versus at times if they guess wrong or have the wrong call on, it could end up being a big play for Montana. That time, Wofford guesses right and slants right into the play.
Again, folks, coming up near the end of the game, we will present the Northwestern Energy players of the game. 3rd and 4 for Montana. Bergquist steps up, looking for the end zone. Dropped by Stephen Failer. 4th down coming up. Failer was open in the back of the end zone.
Well, and I think threw it just a little bit maybe behind him. Cole Bergquist has him open. You'll see right here, Lex Hilliard does one of the things he does so well. Steps up and bails him out in coverage, but wide open behind the coverage is Failer, and Cole Bergquist is just a little bit behind him.
Dan Carpenter, a senior from Helena High School, on to attempt his 2nd field goal of the day. Carpenter's field goal is up and good. The Terriers hold Montana to a field goal yet again. The Grizzlies with their best offensive drive of the day, and it only nets 3 points.
Well, and Coach Ayers has to feel so good about coming into this stadium with a defense that, again, isn't that impressive statistically, but man, have they held up well. 2 turnovers they gave to Montana, and yet they've only given up 6 points in this first half.
Time now for the Don Adson Ford Trivia. Our first question of the day, Grady. In Wofford's 2 playoff wins in 2003, how many total yards passing did they have in those 2 games combined?
Well, I have no idea because I did not look this up in that 2003 season, but after watching them today, and I think they've only thrown 1 pass, and it was picked off, so I'm kind of guessing that they might not throw another pass today. I'm going to say it was probably less than 100 yards combined.
Much less than that. 20 yards passing between the two games. This Terriers club is one that likes to run the ball.
I guess. Well, like I said, Coach Ayers is probably punching himself the fact that he even attempted that one pass early and got it picked off. So I don't think you'll see a lot more passing today from Wofford unless it's of the halfback pass variety, which I expect to see here any minute now, actually.
Carpenter's kick taken at the 10-yard line by Steve DeVitt. And DeVitt out across the 25, brought down just short of the 30. That's where the Terriers will take over. Also, folks, coming up on the bookstore at the University of Montana halftime show, we'll talk with Montana Athletic Director Jim O'Day, plus take a look at the first half highlights and statistics, all coming up on the halftime show, brought to you by the bookstore at the University of Montana, your logo wear source since 1921. You just saw the MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive as Josh Collier and company takes over yet again for Wofford at the Montana 28.
Well, this is a big drive for Montana defensively, because even though, and a great play right there. That time, assignment football, perfect. People on the dive, people forcing the quarterback to pitch, and then not only one person on the option back, but three people there. Great job.
Van Cooper, the senior from Denver, Colorado, coming up to make the play on Kevius Johnson. Mookie Foreman there as well, making sure Johnson doesn't get the corner. Loss of 1 brings up 2nd and 11.
Well, and the crazy thing about 2nd and 11 or 3rd and 11 or whatever for these guys is it's still a rundown. Even though it's 2nd and long, 3rd and long does not mean that Wofford's going to throw the football. They're going to continue to run, and they feel like they have plays in their offense that can get them that 11 yards. And just as I say that, of course, they pass the football the 2nd time today.
Collier looking for Justice Jocelyn, the sophomore from Johnson City, Tennessee. Can't connect, brings up 3rd and 11.
Well, and again, 3rd and 11 would seem like a passing down for most teams, but not this Wofford bunch. Guarantee you they have got a lot of plays in their scheme, but they feel like they're going to get 11 yards by running the football. And now this Montana crowd, which has been a little bit deflated watching Wofford just run the ball all over Montana's defense in this first half, trying to come to life here.
3rd and 11 for the Terriers. Collier stretching the defense, keeps it and brought down. Picks up 1 on the play, but well short of the first down.
Well, what a great series for Montana's defense. Obviously good coaching on the sideline, good adjustments. What a difference. You saw in the touchdown run on the last drive, Grizzly defenders on the edge really looking confused. Nobody home, but look at this, folks. Stadnick right there with the quarterback. Tyler Joyce right there. Look at how many guys running to the pitch. That's how you play option. Great job of adjusting on the sideline, both coaches and players, and coming out and getting a huge 3 and out.
Flag before the snap as the punt team on the field for the Terriers. Initial indication will be a false start.
False start, 37 of the offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Well, and we know now Montana has really been a second half team, Phil. So even though it kind of seems like Wofford has really kind of dominated this first half in a way, it just kind of feels that way. Still, Montana with 5 minutes to go in the half, only down 10-6, and a chance to get the ball back here and maybe go down and take the lead.
Chris Tommy set to punt from his own 10-yard line, gets it off. Low end over end punt, takes a hop at the 45-yard line. Mark Mariani's not going to touch it. Wofford downs it at the 37-yard line. Time now, folks, for banking on the future. The Montana Grizzlies profiling Lyle Brown. Lyle, a 5'9", 164-pound wide receiver from Castle Rock, Colorado, currently redshirting for the Grizzlies. He's originally from Puckett, Mississippi, was relocated to Colorado after Hurricane Katrina. He's been clocked at 10.8 seconds in the 100 meters and reminds Coach Houck of Levander Seegers with more speed. Lyle Brown, our Stewart title building for the future featured athlete, where you see Lex Hilliard on first down rumbling for about 10 yards.
Well, that is just scary. Levander Seegers with speed. Oh my goodness, Levander Seegers just entertained this crowd for years here in Montana. Every time he touched the ball, it was excitement and everybody rose to their feet anticipating what he was going to do. So big things expected out of Lyle Brown if he possesses that type of speed. But what a great play on first down. Inside zone play. Lex cuts it back and hard upfield. Looks like they're going to give him the first down. 10-yard gain. And again, 4.5 minutes left in the first half. Montana with a chance. Again, even though it feels like Wofford has kind of had maybe the better first half, Montana a chance to go down and take the lead.
Bergquist under center on 1st and 10. Hilliard again. Bounces it to the outside across midfield. Wrapped up from behind. Gary Blunt just had him by the shoestrings.
Well, NFL announcers say this a lot. It seems like the best backs get better and better as the game goes along. It seems like they improve, they get into a groove. In the second quarter, they're better. Than the third quarter, they're better. And by the fourth quarter, they're just really rolling. I think Lex Hilliard really is that type of back. His best runs, they just seem to get better and better as the game goes along.
Another first down run for Hilliard. So a 1st and 10 now from the Wofford 42. Again, the give to Hilliard. And has a hole. This time picks up 9, brought down inside the 35-yard line.
Well, difference in scheme. Obviously, a lot of deception on the part of the Wofford Terriers. This right here, folks, is just straight ahead power football. And Montana right now is getting it going. They are just gashing the Wofford Terriers. Wofford took advantage, I think, of their quickness and speed early on, but some adjustments by the Montana offensive front. They are now locking on and just dominating that line of scrimmage.
Mike Ayers compared the Grizzly offensive line to 5 Sherman tanks over the week. Hilliard over the right side, again with a 9-yard pickup, and that moves the chains.
Well, and if those 5 offensive linemen are Sherman tanks, what do you call those 2 big tight ends? And then what do you call the guy that lines up behind those Sherman tanks, Lex Hilliard? My goodness.
Either way, the Grizzlies starting to get the ground game going here late in the second quarter. 1st and 10 now from the Terrier 27. Hilliard remains in the game, the lone back. Mark Mariani up top at the 30-yard line. Mike Ferreter in the slot. Hilliard gets the handoff again. Inside the 25 down to about the 24-yard line.
Well, a good play by 91 Mitch Clark, defensive tackle. If he doesn't make this play, Hilliard has another big 10-yard gain or more. Mitch Clark's able to play off the block late and stop this one for only a 4-yard gain.
Hilliard checks out for a breather. Thomas Brooks Fletcher checks in as the running back. 3 wide. Up top for Montana. Bergquist out of the shotgun. 2nd and 6. Has time. And completes it to Mike Ferreter. Inside the 20-yard line down to the 16. A late flag. Ferreter, a great job to hang on to that ball for first down yardage as we check the penalty marker.
Well, it's definitely going to be a late hit. Fortunately for the Grizzlies, it's going to come after the first down. So it's just going to move it back, but it is going to be a first down. A little double out, and Cole Bergquist throws to the 2nd out. And you're right, Phil, a great catch by Mike Ferreter. Gets whacked in the back as he catches it, but great concentration.
After the play, personal foul, 69 of the offense.
J.D. Quinn just being a little bit too aggressive. He is hustling. You can't fault that. You'll see him come into the play again. What a great catch by Ferreter. And you'll see J.D. Quinn hustling. But clearly after the play, just no call for that. Can't make those type of mistakes. Again, for Montana, beneficial to them. They did get the first down because of the completion. It happened after the play. So it's going to be first down, but back them up to the 31-yard line.
Quinn, the transfer from Oklahoma, was here all year last year, but sat out because of NCAA sanctions. Bergquist over the middle has Dan Bowden down inside the 15-yard line to the 11. First down, Montana.
Well, great throw by Cole Bergquist, and this is the weakness, folks, of the cover 3 defense. Cover 3 meaning you're going to get 3 guys deep, a free safety and 2 corners covering 1/3 of the field. So what's open is the seams. You run double seams, put your tight end up one seam and a slot back on the other seam, and make that free safety have to play both, which is impossible to do. A great throw and catch right there, and a big conversion. Grizz now knocking on the door with 1:40 to go.
Jason Leventis with the stop on the big tight end from Knox in Montana. Lex Hilliard on first down. Picks up maybe one.
Well, they've really been pounding it straight at them on this drive. They have run outside zone a couple times pretty well, but that time actually just electing to go with the toss, which is kind of a surprising call, the fact that you've just been running it right downhill at him big time. And it looked like Cody Baylog, a little bit of miscommunication there on the edge. If Cody Baylog just turns up instead of heading to the outside, Stephen Failer had the outside kicked out. If Baylog turns up, could have been a big play.
And the Terriers are going to take their final timeout of the first half here. As Lex Hilliard now 6 carries for 42 yards on this drive for Montana.
When you see Coach Houck and Craig Oakes there, the quarterback coach for Montana, discussing things with Cole Bergquist right here. Imperative, I think, almost, Phil. Really important that Montana try to come out with a touchdown right here. You've got to be thinking aggressively. You've got Mr. Automatic sitting over there. You know you can make this game 10-9 for sure, but be aggressive and try to get some points on the board. You've seen what Wofford can do offensively, and they're going to get a bunch more opportunities in the second half. It's going to be hard to limit that excellent option attack. So for sure, be aggressive and try to get some points on the board right here in the form of a touchdown.
Just over a minute to play in the first half. Montana with a 2nd and 10 from the 11-yard line. They can pick up a first down if they get to the 1. Bergquist under center. Lex Hilliard waiting for his blocks to set up. Scrambles for a couple. Brought down just inside the 10-yard line. Gets it down to about the 8. And the clock continues to run.
Well, I guess Coach Houck doesn't want to leave too much time on the clock for Wofford. It's 3rd down. Run a play right here. You've got a 3rd and 8. Try to get it in the end zone, and if not, you got Mr. Automatic waiting over there to make this 10-9.
Bergquist out of the shotgun, looking for the end zone. Touchdown. Dan Bowden, the sophomore tight end from Knox in Montana, couldn't reel it in last time, but Bergquist goes back to him and he comes up with the touchdown.
Well, and it's a good call by Coach Fennessy and good execution. Cole Bergquist to Dan Bowden. This is exactly what this coverage that Wofford is playing is giving you. Just right up the seams again, attacking right over the middle, and a nice call, good execution, good throw and catch.
Something about the first round of the playoffs for Dan Bowden, his only touchdown of the season last year coming in the first round against McNeese State, and Bowden's first touchdown of the year this season coming in the first round here against Wofford.
Well, Dan Bowden must have been an exciting young man last night. Probably didn't sleep very well, excited about that. First round games that he steps up big for, but this was big for Montana right here. Again, kind of you feel like Wofford is almost, had the better part of this half, kind of not necessarily dominated, but you kind of feel like they played the better half, and yet Montana, who is a second half team, holding a 13-10 lead. Of course, it's still 24 seconds. Got to make this special teams play and all that, but amazing for Montana really to end up with a lead, and a good feeling for them going into the second half.
As Dan Bowden goes up to get that one, that is our PPL Montana momentum changing play of the half. PPL Montana putting our energy in Montana communities. So the Grizzlies take a 13-10 lead here with 24 seconds to play in the first half. Carpenter, as we mentioned, already becoming the all-time career points leader for the football championship subdivision, adding another one with that extra point.
Well, he beat a pretty good player, Marty Zendejas out of the University of Nevada. Great kicker, went on to kick in the NFL for several years. And Dan Carpenter just having an outstanding career. Happy for that young man, and I think he also is going to have a shot maybe to kick at the next level.
Short kick, taken just inside the 25-yard line. Out across the 35 is Greg Gasparotto, and that's where the Terriers will take over. 20 seconds left in the half, and the Terriers without any more timeouts. There's your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive for news and statistics on all Grizzly athletics. Log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com.
Well, and kind of a page out of the Wofford Terrier book, although Montana's been good at that as well. But it was a time-sustaining drive, 11 plays, almost take the entire clock off, just what Coach Houck wanted to do, not give much time for this Wofford offense.
Michael Hobbs on first down up the middle and stopped, and that should do it for the first half.
Phil and Coach Houck played it well. He won the toss, Phil. He deferred. They get a touchdown late, and now they get the ball to start the second half. Couldn't have written a better script for him going into this halftime and then coming out with the football to start the third quarter.
Well, this option attack certainly had the Grizzlies concerned over the week. They didn't have but about 4 days to prepare for it, and it came out early. The Terriers came out and moved the ball well. They turned it over twice and stood the Grizzlies up. Montana unable to get any points out of it, and we'll hear what Coach Houck has to say about that first half.
All right, Coach, you didn't give up many points, but a lot of yards to that option attack. What do you do to stop that?
They're pretty good, Derek, and as I've said all week, they're going to be tough to stop. They've got a good run game. The first quarter is the hardest against an option team because you can't simulate the speed in practice. Hopefully we'll settle in and play well the second half.
Talk about your offense. Last couple drives, really moving the ball well. You're going to see a lot more of that second half.
Yeah, we didn't capitalize on a couple of early opportunities, and it's good to see us getting the ball down the field, get it in the end zone there.
All right, Coach, stay warm. It's really cold down here, guys. Just thought I'd re-emphasize that point. Back to you.
Well, thank you very much, Derek. We'd certainly talked about the cold, and we'll talk about that more coming up throughout halftime and the rest of the game. Montana takes a 13-10 lead into the locker room. Stick around. Much more from Missoula coming up here.
Don't miss the Georgia Tech College Football Replay. Tuesday night at 9 Eastern.
Here, all the way back to the 15.
John Parker Wilson bounced back a little bit with 2 touchdowns.
Welcome to Spartanburg, the proud home of America's premier all-star high school football event, the Shrine Bowl of the Carolinas. And the action returns to Gibbs Stadium at Wofford College with a 1 p.m. kickoff Saturday, December 15th. Thanks to our generous sponsors, the South Carolina Sandlappers will take on the North Carolina Tar Heels for the toughest high school football battle in the country. Bring the whole family out for the thrills, chills, and excitement. Once a year, every year since 1937, it's a Carolina tradition.
This is a man who almost learned to walk at a rehab center that almost got built by people who almost gave money. Almost gave. How good is almost giving? About as good as almost walking.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay. Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern.
Welcome to the bookstore at the University of Montana Halftime Show. The bookstore, your logo wear source since 1921.
Welcome back to Washington Grizzly Stadium in Missoula, everybody. Phil Buck, Grady Bennett up here in the booth. Derek Berkeley roaming the sidelines for us. And Grady, first half analysis. The Grizzlies able to force turnovers on the Terriers' first 2 possessions, but unable to come up with any points, and the Terriers went to work from there.
They did. They really went to work, and it kind of looked like almost going to be a long day for Montana, but boy, credit those guys for bouncing back. The defense with a couple of really nice stops late, and then the offense took over, got it going. And Wofford, you know, I think it was just kind of tough those first few drives for Montana to adjust. We talked about the fact that there is no way you can simulate that. No way you can set up a scout team to try to run that incredible option offense, and even defensively, the speed and quickness that Wofford has. But you can tell Montana kind of adjusted to it, settled in, and then just great players, good football players making adjustments, got a big stop, and Montana drives down in a first half again that kind of seemed like it went mostly Wofford's way. The Grizz end up leading 13-10, which has to be a big sign because everyone knows now Montana is a fantastic second half team.
Well, folks, KPAX would like to thank Carl Tyler Chevrolet in Missoula for all his help and support helping us bring you this telecast. This season, KPAX brings you all Grizzly telecasts from a 35-foot, 4-star custom-built production trailer pulled by a Chevy 1-ton, 4-wheel drive truck. Montana Grizzly football, brought to you by KPAX, Montana's news station, and powered by Carl Tyler Chevrolet in Missoula. Well, stick around because Derek Berkeley will be catching up with University of Montana Athletic Director Jim O'Day down on the field when we come back. Still 10-13 at the half.
Don't miss the Miami at Boston College football replay. Tuesday night at 7 Eastern.
When it comes to sports in Atlanta, Applebee's and the Atlanta Sports Council want to determine who Atlanta's best athletes are. Stop by any Metro Atlanta Applebee's location through December 9th to find out how to nominate your favorite athletes from high school to the pros and learn how to win the ultimate Atlanta sports ticket to see your favorite Atlanta pro teams in action. The best Atlanta athletes will all be competing for an illustrious Atlanta Sports Award. Go to atlantasportsawards.com for more information. No purchase necessary to nominate.
CSS is Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Rusty on hunting and fishing adventures with some of the top outdoorsmen from around the region. While in studio, Rusty and special guests will help you become the ultimate outdoorsman with tips, tactics, and the latest gear. You'll also learn ways to help our wildlife through proper management and ways to bring new outdoorsmen into the sport. Don't miss Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, presented by Equalizer Tree Stands.
Don't miss the Alabama at Auburn college football replay. Sunday afternoon at 5 Eastern.
Welcome to the bookstore at the University of Montana Halftime Show. The bookstore, your logo-wear source since 1921.
Welcome back, everybody. Joining me here at halftime, University of Montana Athletic Director Jim O'Day. And Jim, I guess my first question, are you staying warm enough for this game?
Oh, of course. It's great out here. I said, I'm originally from Cut Bank. I'm used to the weather up there. We're just missing a little wind is all.
I was going to say, we don't have the wind chill here that you're used to, though.
This is perfect. This is like a good May day.
Right. Tell me about your impressions early on here. Wofford bringing in a great team, and what you think of the first half.
You know, Wofford's got a lot of speed. I think our kids are starting to adjust, but they're a very well-coached team, very just like us. So it's going to be a great second half. But, you know, we knew what they were going to be. Anybody that can go and play a team like Appalachian State and beat them the way they did, you know, they've got to have some speed and they've got to have some real talent.
Tell me about this crowd today. I mean, normally first round playoffs, it's Thanksgiving weekend, the students aren't here. Not usually as good a crowd, but we don't have numbers yet, but it looks like a great crowd today.
It really does look like a great crowd. You know, we usually hang around 15,000, 16,000 on Thanksgiving weekend. Last year we did hit 20, which was about 4,000 more than normal, and we're going to be approaching that today, I think.
How do you think the crowd's been handling themselves so far today, too?
I love it. When they get in this north end zone, that whole area is its own little culture of its own. And it is hard. It's very hard for opposing teams to hear. You know, you can try to assimilate that that as much as you can in practice, but it's hard to adjust to what they do. They make a big difference in the game.
I know this might be hard for you to do, but 15 straight years the Grizz now making the playoffs. Can you sum up how impressive that really is on a national scale? Nobody else has done this. How impressive is this?
I think Southern Illinois has got the next best record. I think they've been in the playoffs now 4 years in a row. And it's an incredible streak. It really is. It's taken a lot of hard work by a lot of different people, a lot of great coaching staffs. And I think sometimes we don't realize how fortunate we are. There's a lot of teams in the league who really have never had this opportunity, and we just expect it every year.
Tell me about now, switching gears to basketball. Both the Lady Grizz and the men, big road test this weekend in tournaments. The men last night putting up a good effort against Washington State. What do you think from that team so far this year?
They're improving every day. We've got some young kids who are really coming along to stay within a nationally ranked team like that and be 2 down at halftime and 5 points down with about 8 minutes to go shows that team is improving a lot, and I'm really excited about how they're going to be this year. They're going to be a force to be reckoned with, I think, in the Big Sky.
And Lady Grizz, same thing, coming off that amazing season. Couple losses early, but a big win last night against Oregon State. They're looking good so far.
Well, to hold a Pac-10 team like Oregon State to 11 points in the first half says it all. I know Robin wasn't very happy with the way they played defense against Gonzaga on Monday night, but they made up for it last night, and I know they're hoping to get a championship today. Talking to Robin this morning, he's excited down.
Don't miss the Clemson at South Carolina college football replay. Wednesday night at 9 Eastern.
They said Cody had no chance.
Like you're gonna do anything.
It's gonna be awesome. And Joe was just plain chicken.
Treat me as their king and put me in a hot tub.
But now...
Who wants to see the little guy take on the champ?
Little guys rule!
They're gonna have to team up.
Surf's up, dude.
To take on a challenge this big.
This is gonna be fun, huh?
I know!
Surf's Up, now on demand.
Tow to Channel 999 to watch this movie anytime with Charter on Demand.
This fall, the History Channel is now available in HD.
These people are here to see carnage.
From the stunning images of the universe to the deadly terrain of the ice road.
I pray that I make it to the other side.
How you see it changes everything.
It just kept closing closer. Fire off the last of my ammo.
The History Channel in HD. Welcome to the future of history.
Don't miss the Clemson at South Carolina college football replay, Sunday at noon Eastern.
Welcome back to the bookstore at the University of Montana Halftime Show. The Bookstore, your logo wear source since 1921.
Welcome back to snowy Montana. A cold day here in Missoula as the Montana Grizzlies lead at 13-10 at the half at Washington Grizzly Stadium. Time now, Grady Bennett, to take a look at some of the highlights from the first half. And Grizz defense really got it going early. They caused a couple of turnovers on the Terriers' first 2 possessions. Colt Anderson in on both plays. Here on the very first play of scrimmage from Wofford, Anderson comes up and forces the fumble.
Colt Anderson with 2 huge plays right here, just pursuing to the football and then turning and getting his shoulder pad squarely on it, forcing the turnover. And then the very next time Wofford had the ball, Josh Collier attempts his first of, I guess, only 2 passes. He only attempted 2 passes all day. And this first one, Colt Anderson makes a great read on it, jumps in front of the intended wide receiver, Dane Romero, and intercepts it. So back-to-back possessions and back-to-back turnovers caused by Colt Anderson.
Well, that was Anderson's 4th interception on the year. He now leads the team in that category, but the Terriers holds strong. The defense doesn't give up any points on the turnovers, and there you see Dane Romero prancing into the end zone untouched for the first touchdown of the game.
Well, and you could see a little bit of confusion early, and then late in the half, Montana really adjusted, did a nice job of 3 and out, and then to close, after that 3 and out, they get the ball back, and to close the first half, Cole Bergquist to Dan Bowden, his second touchdown of his career, I believe, both coming in the first round of the playoffs. An amazing stat. There you look at the halftime statistics, and again, pretty even. The Terriers did a lot of work and damage early, and then the Grizzlies kind of got it going late. One thing that doesn't show up there is time of possession, which went all the Terriers' way early on, but the Grizzlies ended up pulling almost even with that. So really a well-played first half, kind of almost a tale of 2 quarters there a little bit. It'll be very interesting to see how this second half plays out.
Mike Ayers, head coach of Wofford, said that in their 3 losses this season, the common thread was they turned the ball over. 2 turnovers for the Terriers in that first half, but the Grizzlies get no points off any of them.
Well, Ayers has to feel very good really about how his Terriers have played. They've come in and they've weathered the storm of this big crowd pretty well. They've moved the ball very well, and again, they dodged the bullet with those 2 turnovers. So their defense has stood up pretty well, and he has to feel very good at halftime. I think probably feels like they should have more than just 10 points on the board.
Should be a dogfight of a second half here in Missoula. Stick around. We'll be back with the kick and more here in today's first round playoff matchup between the Grizzlies and the Terriers next on College Football Saturday.
Thanks for watching The Bookstore at the University of Montana Halftime Show. The Bookstore, your logo-wear source since 1921.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay. Sunday night at 9:30 Eastern.
Here, all the way back to the 15.
John Parker Wilson bounced back a little bit with 2 touches.
Whether it's fire danger, a serious fall, or other type of emergency, Life Alert is there for you.
The first time I fell in that bedroom and I couldn't reach the phone.
When you have a heart attack like I did and there's no one there, Life Alert was there for me.
Having a secure feeling through Life Alert is ideal.
My independence is possible because of it.
Now, Life Alert can also protect you in a fire emergency with a system that automatically notifies our monitoring center.
Thanks to Life Alert, you can live alone without ever being alone. And that's why I wear one.
All senior citizens should have Life Alert.
Please call 1-800-693-5649 for free information about Life Alert. That's 1-800-693-5649, or visit us on the web at the address on your screen. Don't delay. Call us now at 1-800-693-5649.
Today's NCAA Division I Football Championship Subdivision first round playoff game is brought to you by Northwestern Energy, delivering a bright future. Universal Athletic Service, for the athlete in all of us. PPL Montana, putting our energy in Montana communities. The University of Montana, discover your future at the University of Montana. Sterling Savings Bank, the perfect fit bank. And the Montana Wood Products Association, promoting healthy forests and healthy communities through active management of Montana forests.
Well, both teams beginning to make their way out of the locker room here on a crisp day in Missoula, Montana. Again, welcome back to Washington Grizzly Stadium. Phil Buck, Grady Bennett, Derek Berkeley down on the sidelines. He's tracking down head coach Mike Ayers as Wofford makes their way out of the tunnel. And Grady, Grizzlies get the ball to start the second half. What would be a key for Montana here in this second half?
Well, I really think Coach Houck loves to wear teams down in the second half, keep pounding the ball behind that huge offensive line, keep giving it to Lex Hilliard, and that's going to be the key, is just continue to establish that running game and wear down the Wofford defense.
Let's send it down to Derek Berkeley with Mike Ayers.
All right, Coach, first half, very close. Your offense moving the ball very well. What do you think about that?
Well, we made way too many mistakes, quite frankly. We should be better off than what we are. We turned the ball over twice. Against a team like Montana, you can't do that. We've got to come back 30 minutes, and we got to play sound. You don't want to give these guys anything. They're going to take enough. And somehow, some way, what we've got to do is control the tempo of the game with our offense, be opportunistic on defense. Somehow, we've got to get those guys stopped to where we can take it and get ahead. They're a very good football team. They're fundamental in all aspects. They're playing hard, we're playing hard. What we've got to do is play better. We come out here, I think, the atmosphere, little intensity, little nerves, all that didn't quite settle in as the way that we needed to. Made some corrections second half. Hopefully that's going to be good enough. If not, then we'll be taking a long flight home and not playing again. If it works, then we're going to be getting ready for next week.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Coach Mike Ayers, guys, back to you.
Well, thank you there, Derek. Grady, I don't think I have ever heard a coach say that much in a halftime interview in my life.
Well, there's no way. Most coaches are just looking to get away from the mic, say as little as possible, and Coach Ayers gives a long diatribe there of all sorts of information, but you can tell he's a fiery guy. We heard all week about he's a yeller, he's a screamer, he gets after his guys, lots of intensity, and you can tell that that's the way he coaches. I'm sure it was an intense locker room inside the Wofford Terrier locker room at half.
Well, as we saw there, halftime statistics split very evenly between these two teams all the way down, and it should be a fight to the bitter end here in the second half. The Grizzlies will get the ball to start things off in the second quarter. Mark Mariani, Rob Schulte back to return.
Well, and both offenses really operating from the same premise, try to put together long drives and keep the other offense off the field. Both offenses really want to wear down the other team's defense with long time-consuming drives. The difference is Montana's defense is so deep, they can keep bringing fresh guys in. Benefit really that probably very few other FCS programs can enjoy.
Well, we talked about the cold weather, and Wofford, coming from Spartanburg, South Carolina, does not play in weather all this often, and they the team actually borrowed a lot of their cold weather gear this week from the Carolina Panthers of the NFL. Johnson Richardson, a sophomore tight end for Wofford, his grandfather is the owner of the Panthers, and so that's where they have a lot of their cold weather gear for today. Here's the kickoff to start the second half. Rob Schulte across the 35, across the 40, out to midfield.
Well, in this time, Carson Bender out of Deer Lodge, he got the last return, and every big man's dream, defensive lineman, offensive lineman, getting a chance to get his hands on the kickoff. But this time, a good adjustment. Carson Bender steps up and allows Rob Schulte to come up and take it. That allows Bender to be a part of the blocking scheme, which he does very well. Just blows a huge hole in with that second wedge, and Montana takes over at midfield. Great field position to start this second half for the Grizz.
Lex Hilliard, the lone back, gets the ball to start the second half and wrapped up for a loss in the backfield. Philman Dawkins, the junior from Charlotte, with the stop.
Well, the Grizz run a trips wide receiver set to the wide side of the field and then try to run the outside zone back the other side of the formation, and a good scheme because you're going to get overloaded, and really you're going to put Lex Hilliard one-on-one on a corner, which is a matchup you really like, but Dawkins comes up and just does a great job of getting down to Lex's legs and tripping him up.
Loss of 4 brings up 2nd and 14. Bergquist forced out of the pocket. Pump fake, runs it across the 50, forced out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Bergquist making something out of nothing there.
Yeah, and he's done it 3 or 4 times today. A nice job. But what I love about Cole Bergquist in these situations is he's so patient. He doesn't panic at all. He stays in the pocket as long as he can, and then even when he starts to scramble, there's no panic to him. He just slides out nice and easily. He's still looking upfield. Notice the little pump fake keeps the cornerback locked on the wide receiver and gives him the chance to run the football for a good game.
So Bergquist working out of the shotgun on 3rd and 5. Terriers come on a blitz. Hilliard picks it up. Bergquist to Eric Allen, caught just across the 40-yard line and just good enough for a first down.
Cole Bergquist to Eric Allen, something that really emerged last week with the loss of Ryan Bagley, the broken arm a couple weeks ago against Idaho State. Last week in those 3rd downs, a quarterback used to look to Ryan Bagley, did Cole Bergquist, and now Eric Allen is kind of emerging as that guy that Cole Bergquist looks to when he needs 3rd down conversions.
1st and 10 from the Wofford 39. Hilliard picks up 2.
Well, a lot of outside zone now. Montana's really went to the outside zone. I really thought in that last touchdown drive, early in that drive anyways, the Grizz were just really pounding Wofford, just mashing them with their inside zone, going straight ahead, and right now choosing to go a little bit more to the outside zone, but trying to just get bodies on bodies using that big size that they have, that advantage up front, moving that line of scrimmage.
4 wide again for the Grizzlies on 2nd down. Bergquist to Schulte on the bubble screen. Gets a couple blocks and a flag thrown at the 37-yard line. Schulte out of bounds at about the 30, but we'll check the penalty.
Well, and it's going to be a hold on the perimeter on Mike Fairder, the wide receiver, who was working hard, doing a good job. Obviously, the line judge there felt like Fairder had his hands outside the frame.
The offense. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the flag. 2nd down.
See if we can see it right here on the replay. You'll see Schulte makes the catch, and right there, tough to tell, but it looked like Fairder might have had his right hand up on the shoulder. Once your hands get outside the frame and get up around the shoulder pads, outside jersey, the refs, that's all really they look for when they're trying to determine if it's holding or not, and Mike Fairder gets caught right there. 2nd and about 18, but this is where Cole Bergquist really over the last month of the season has been at his best, turning these 2nd and longs into manageable 3rd down conversions.
Bergquist has time. Ball batted at the line of scrimmage. He was looking underneath for Eric Allen. Instead, it falls incomplete, so 3rd and long coming up.
Well, and this is a play right here that Montana used last week to score against Montana State. Bring Eric Allen underneath the coverage on a little drag route, and looked like it was going to be another great play. Last week, Eric Allen took this one to the house coming across the formation, but number 96 gets his hands up there, Jared McCullough, and knocks it down, and now 3rd and long.
McCullough, the sophomore finance man at my major out of Valley, Alabama. 3rd and long. Bergquist looking for Mike Fairder. Fairder can't get a hand on it. Bergquist goes down on the play, and here comes 4th down.
That time a good zone blitz. Wofford Terriers, they bring somebody, but they drop somebody, so you're still only rushing 4 guys. You're dropping people back into coverage, and just good coverage down the field. Nobody open right there, and Fairder knows if he catches that ball, he's going to get lit up.
Tyson Johnson on to punt for the Grizzlies. Standing at his own 10-yard line is Jeremy Marshall. Johnson instead on the fake has a blocker at the 40. Brought down well short of the 1st down marker at about the 39-yard line, so the Terriers will take over on downs.
Well, interesting call right there. Tyson Johnson definitely athletic enough to make a play like this, but on 4th and nearly 20, a chance maybe to really pin Wofford deep in their own territory and at least make them go, 80, 90 yards. But Coach Houck decides to go for it, and now Wofford's only looking at, well, a much shorter field. 62 yards is all they have to go now.
Josh Collier under center on the option. The pitch to Romero, and Romero tripped up by Colt Anderson.
Well, again, excellent job by Collier reading the option and making the pitch. The Grizzlies are doing a much better job of adjusting and stringing it out, and Colt Anderson here just barely gets the shoestrings. This is the definition of a shoestring tackle right here, folks. Wow, without that shoestring tackle, possibly another first down. Nice play by Colt Anderson, and Romero, upset about it, knows that he could have had a big play up the sideline.
Picked up 3. Here's 2nd and 7. Hobbs, the fullback, picks up about 5, wrapped up by Craig Metler.
Well, when you're combining that many different styles of option, and you've seen almost everything from Wofford today, you really need a good quarterback, a quarterback that is able to read the various schemes that you're asking him to read. And boy, Josh Collier just does a very nice job with all those different schemes of executing.
3rd and 2. Collier on the option, trying to find the corner, and just does pick up the first down, brought down right at midfield.
Boy, the one thing you notice about the Terrier perimeter players is they all are very explosive. Once they decide, when the ball's in their hands and they decide to get it up the field, man, they really explode and just put on the jets and make something happen. And Collier with tremendous speed when he keeps the ball in the option.
First and 10 from the 50. Collier to throw. Hit as he throws. Ball up in the air, and it's picked off by Quentin Jackson. Jackson across the 30, spinning off a tackle at the 35.
Well, and of course, a huge play by Quentin Jackson, but it's only because the rush up front. This is all the rush. It's basically just like a punt. All Quentin Jackson has to do is get underneath it, but watch Craig Metler and Kelly Kane get off the football, force the issue. I think Mike Stadnick right there with the pressure. Wow, what a great job by number 91 out of Saskatchewan, Mike Stadnick, with the huge pressure. And I tell you what, Coach Ayers has only thrown the ball 3 times today. 2 of them have been interception. He may think twice about throwing ever again.
Quentin Jackson with his 3rd pick of the season. That is our PPL Montana momentum-changing play of the half. PPL Montana putting our energy in Montana communities. Lex Hilliard picks up 2 on first down.
Well, Montana's going to keep banging away. Fans now are adjusting to seeing this out of Montana in the second half. Just keep giving the ball to number 38, letting that offensive line just work straight ahead and try to wear down that defensive front for your opposition.
Mike Ayers referencing those 2 turnovers to start the first half. He was not happy about it. And the Terriers on the first possession of the second half turn it over again. Bergquist off the play action. Forced out of the pocket and gets rid of it.
Good decision right there by Cole Bergquist, something that he has gotten so much better at as he's progressed this year. And obviously you expect to see that out of a quarterback as he matures, but Cole Bergquist making good decisions. Man, it was about mid-season working a game with you, Phil, where Cole made a couple of bad decisions and tried to force a couple balls that ended up being interceptions. And it just really looks like he's learned that, hey, that's not the thing to do. Make sure you just throw it away when you have to and live to play another down. That's the key. But here's where Cole Bergquist, I think, has shined this year on 3rd downs. 46% has Montana converted this year. That's an outstanding average.
3rd and 8, and Bergquist is rolled up. Seth Goldwire, the junior linebacker and first all-conference selection with the sack.
Well, from the Southern Conference, he's their leading tackle. They only had 2 first-teamers, did Wofford, but Seth Goldwire is one of them. And you know, we haven't called his name too much today, but he comes up big right there and forces Montana 3 and out.
Leading tackler for the Terriers, just his 2nd sack of the season. Tyson Johnson back on to punt for the Grizzlies. Gets it off. A high spiraling punt, fair caught at the 22-yard line by Marshall. That's where the Terriers will take over, still trailing by a field goal.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, Daddy.
Philanthropist.
Man of the year, Mr. Earl Brooks.
Killer.
Hello.
She's caught a lot of people. This isn't the first time she's been looking for us.
I like that about her.
And he's battling an alter ego.
I like killing.
I said no. In his head.
We are going to have so much fun.
Kevin Costner, Demi Moore, William Hurt.
Did you think your husband's killing was random?
Mr. Brooks.
Want to order in or go out for a sit-down dinner tonight, but you're not sure what you want? Charter can help with Menus on Demand.
It all starts with your remote. Go to channel 999 or press the On Demand button on your remote. Scroll down to the category I Want More and press the button to enter.
There you will find Menus on Demand. Menus on Demand has an array of restaurant menus you can look through, like Stack's Peppermill, Cheap Wings and Firewater, and Kampai of Tokyo, to name a few. Menus on Demand is a quick and easy way to see what's for dinner tonight.
Well, it must be playoff time in Missoula when the shirts come off and the temperatures go down. Grizzlies maintaining a 13-10 lead here as the Wofford Terriers take over with a 1st and 10 from their own 22. Wofford out of the eye. Collier the option. And the pitch to the outside. Johnson with a big gain, and let's send it down to Derek Berkeley on the sidelines.
Well, guys, obviously it's difficult to find some comparisons between a team in South Carolina and a team in Montana, but here's a couple for you. Wofford starting quarterback Josh Collier, his dad actually spent time on Malmstrom Airport Base, so he actually grew up and spent several years in Great Falls. Their backup quarterback, Ben Winmeyer, actually played in Coeur d'Alene and played a high school football game on this field against Hellgate High. He didn't do too well. They lost 30-9, and he threw 3 interceptions. But at least he has some experience here, guys.
Thanks for that, Derek. The option on 1st down, Collier keeping it and making something. Boy, able to squeeze about 5 or 6 yards there in between a couple of Grizzly defenders. And you mentioned their backup quarterback, Ben Widmeyer, and Grady Bennett. That's somebody you have had some experience coaching against here in Montana.
Absolutely. We went against Coeur d'Alene 2 different times when Widmeyer was the starting quarterback, and I tell you what, an outstanding player. His junior year we played them over there and we were able to get the win, but we could tell that he was an outstanding player. His senior year they came over to Kalispell to play us and just flat got after us, and I knew he was going to be a very good college football player. And it's really an interesting story to find out and to hear how he ended up playing for Wofford all the way across the country, going from Coeur d'Alene, Idaho to South Carolina.
Widmeyer with a lot of family on hand here at Washington Grizzly Stadium today as Johnson picks up another 1st down for the Terriers.
Well, you know, and it's a good story, Phil, because you think about how players end up at certain universities playing football. And, you know, if a young man believes in himself and has goals and thinks that he can play college football, you know, what a great story. Ben Widmeyer did not really get recruited by that many players or that many colleges, and knew that he could play, believed in himself. Basically, he recruited Wofford. He got on the internet, he looked around for schools that ran the option, and he found Wofford, sent them a tape of his own, and they were interested, and he ends up playing for him and has done a nice job this year.
Hobbs with the carry. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. Brings up 2nd and 10.
I always wonder what Collier's saying to his pitchbacks when he hands the ball off to Hobbs, and Hobbs is back getting stuffed for little or no gain, and they're out on the edge with nobody around him. And I wonder if they're discussing, boy, I probably should have kept that one and maybe pitched it to you, huh? Very good execution. Boy, these Terrier team is just well disciplined and runs their stuff very well. A sign of just a well-coached team, and again a quarterback that knows the system and executes things very well.
2nd and 10. Again, the option to Collier. Bouncing off tacklers, gets it across midfield, stopped just short of 1st down yardage.
Well, Kyle Ryan upset with himself right here. Had a chance, had his hands on Collier. Would have been a stop almost for no gain, at least maybe just 1 yard. You'll see right here the strength of Collier. And what they try to do really on the option is just get one more person to the point of attack than you have. If they can overload you and get one extra blocker out there, one more guy, and so far today they've done a nice job. Brings up a 3rd and short.
Collier, 6'2", 205 pounds. Colt Anderson doesn't usually bounce off of guys like he did off Collier on that last run. 3rd and 1. And Collier's going to take a timeout. Montana still with a 3-point lead.
Don't miss the Georgia Tech College Football Replay, Monday night at 9 Eastern.
Get big arms, a ripped chest, and cut abs with the Perfect Push-Up. The Perfect Push-Up works with the natural rotation of your arms and shoulders to maximize results and minimize stress on your body. With the Perfect Push-Up, your hands, arms, and shoulders rotate 90 degrees, just like in a punch. All the energy of a push-up is captured and transmitted right where you want it, to the muscles. There's no wasted effort, just muscle-building movement. And as your arms rotate, you feel it work in your biceps, your triceps, your chest and abs, and your shoulders. Invented by a U.S. Navy SEAL and made with steel and a ball-bearing movement, it's the push-up perfected. So here's the deal. The Perfect Push-Up is only 2 payments of $19.95. When you order, you'll receive 2 Perfect Push-Up rotational handles, and you'll also receive the Navy SEAL-inspired Perfect Push-Up workout chart. You'll be ripped in no time. Get big fast. Call right now for the Perfect Push-Up.
Call 1-800-870-3072.
Welcome back to Missoula, where the Grizzlies enjoying a 3-point lead over the Terriers of Wofford. With Josh Collier and company with a 3rd and 1 just inside Grizzly territory. Up the middle is Johnson, and he is stopped right at the line of scrimmage. And it will depend on the spot.
Well, it's going to be very close. I almost think he's just a little bit short, but either way, you have to figure with this offense and as effective as they've run the ball all day, that Coach Ayers is definitely going to go for it.
You would certainly think so if it is short. And if it's short, it's only going to be so by an inch or 2.
Looks like the sticks are going to actually get to the 46-yard line pretty close, so I think it's going to be just a couple inches short. Nope, first down.
By a nose. So the chains move. Mike Ayers has a little bit more to work with. First and 10 now from the Montana 46. Johnson straight up the middle, and that goes nowhere. The Montana front locks it down. Paul Lamantia.
2 good plays in a row by Montana's defensive front. And one thing that I haven't talked about at all today is personnel groups. You know, the Wofford Terriers, a lot of times fans are used to seeing different personnel groups come in, wide receiver sets, tight end sets, running back sets. Pretty much Wofford has the same personnel on the field all the time. What they do, though, is they give you tons of formations. You've seen the same formations today by the same group of football players.
Again, coming up near the end of the game, we'll present the Northwestern Energy players of the game. 2nd and 10. Collier keeping it across the 40. Brought down at the 38-yard line, 2 yards short of a first down.
Well, there's a couple words that describe Josh Collier. Elusive, of course, right there, running out of a very good football player's grasp. Croy Bierman, who we haven't called his name much today, who's got a chance to make a play right here, but very elusive, and then just explosive. Once Collier heads up the field, boy, he really does it with a burst of speed.
Another word that some of the Grizzlies use to describe this Wofford team, shifty. And we have seen that today. 3rd and 2. Again, Collier on the option. Colt Anderson can't wrap him up. Collier appears to have the first down again. This will depend on the spot.
Yeah, again, it's going to be really, really close. You know, Montana has definitely made some nice adjustments, and now this second half, I mean, it's been a slugfest. Now we've got two defenses out there that are playing well and just kind of trading blows, and the referees are going to decide that this one's fourth down. Needed to get to the 36. Last time it was clear right to the 46, so definitely a little bit short of that 36-yard line, and it's going to be fourth and short. Not a question, but again, the Grizz defense has definitely settled in. Wofford continues to execute well, and this has just turned into a great football game. Players lining up, playing hard.
Terriers on 4th and inches. Have already converted on a 4th down so far this afternoon. Collier out of the shotgun. And the Terriers are going to talk things over. Second timeout of the half taken by the Terriers, and we're going to take one as well. Montana still on top by a field goal.
Don't miss the Miami at Boston College football replay. Tuesday night at 7 Eastern. CSS is Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Rusty on hunting and fishing adventures with some of the top outdoorsmen from around the region. While in studio, Rusty and special guests will help you become the ultimate outdoorsman with tips, tactics, and the latest gear. You'll also learn ways to help our wildlife through proper management and ways to bring new outdoorsmen into the sport. Don't miss Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, presented by Equalizer Tree Stands.
Wofford not being shy about using their timeouts here in the second half, already having burned 2 in the third quarter. Now with a 4th and inches from the Montana 36.
Montana's going to get a false start. It looks like Wofford jumped a little bit earlier. There was some movement up front on both sides. And this, Phil, brings up an interesting point to talk about. You know, Coach Jim Donnan yesterday in the Delaware State, the first game of the FCS playoffs yesterday, he was doing the color, and he made a statement that was wow, pretty impressive, actually. Jim Donnan, of course, the head coach for the University of Marshall, back when the Grizzlies won the national championship in 1995, defeated Marshall, and then in 96 they went back to play them again in the national championship, and Coach Donnan won it that year with, of course, Randy Moss. And sure enough, it's on the offense. But Jim Donnan then went on to coach at the University of Georgia for a few years, and again was doing the color yesterday, and he said, talking about the FCS playoffs this year, Jim Donnan made a statement that Montana enjoys what he feels is the greatest home field advantage in the world. Now, quite a statement.
That's quite a statement.
And Jim Donnan is quite a quite a coach, so I don't take it too lightly. I think what he's talking about is just when you take a look and you compare this venue to the big venues around college, and really what this means to the state of Montana, and how teams have to come from so far in this division and play in this atmosphere when they're so not used to it. I think what he meant was this is a pretty unique situation, an advantage that they face that's unlike any other.
And the Grizzlies come up with a stop on 4th down. Collier with the keeper comes up 2 yards short of the first down. Montana takes over on downs.
Well, what a huge play by Montana's defense. Obviously, boy, give these guys credit for how they've adjusted. Look, you've got people on the dive. You've got 2 people on the quarterback. There was people on the pitch. Nowhere for Collier to go. He has to keep the ball, and the Grizzlies swarm him under. What a huge, huge penalty. And again, going back to what Coach Donnan said, you know, you can play in front of 82,000 at NC State, but there's something different about playing in front of 21,000 here at Washington Grizzly Stadium. It's just an impressive crowd that's smart. They're knowledgeable. They know when to get loud. They just do a great job of backing the Montana Grizzlies.
So the Grizzlies take over at their own 40-yard line and come out with a heavy set on 1st and 10. Lex Hilliard, a hole up the middle, bouncing off tacklers and picks up 5.
Well, we're not quite there yet. There's still 4 minutes and 22 seconds to go. But again, this is getting to that time where Coach Houck just likes to hand the game over to his big offensive line and number 38 and just continue to mash straight ahead, run the ball right at people and try to wear that defense out as we get into the late stages of the football game.
2nd and 5. Hilliard again. This time picks up 2 before he's brought down by Matt Norsha. 3rd and 3 coming up for the Montana Grizzlies.
Another big 3rd down for Montana, simply because the defense did do a fantastic job of stopping Wofford and getting the 4th down stop. But boy, you don't want to give the ball right back to him. Give your defense a little rest, chance to get some water on the sidelines. A big conversion coming up here for Montana.
Dan Bowden, the tight end, in motion. Hilliard on 3rd down. Stutter steps, picks up a 1st down across midfield.
Well, 3 straight running plays, 3 straight ahead running plays for Lex Hilliard. And you just have to figure the confidence that Coach Houck has in that offensive line and Lex Hilliard. He believes that 3 straight times there's no way that the Wofford Terriers can stop them from getting 10 yards on 3 straight Lex Hilliard carries.
So Montana now just across midfield, a 1st and 10 from the Wofford 48. Hilliard the lone back. And he gets the handoff again. Met at the line of scrimmage, no gain on the play.
Mitch Clark, number 91, has really had a nice day. If there's one guy that's continued to make play after play for them, it's number 91, Mitch Clark, who has been able to slide off blocks all day long, really. You'll see him come on the right side of your screen right here. He just plays off the block on the right side and makes another tackle. Mitch Clark having a fine day for the Terriers.
6'1", 256-pound sophomore from New Philadelphia, Ohio. Stopping Lex Hilliard for no gain. 2nd and 10. Here's Hilliard again. Leaning on tacklers, picking up 2.
Montana just content here to be very deliberate with their offense. Just continue to take their time, nursing, I would say, nursing a 13-10 lead. The fans here just itching for Montana to go down and get one more, knowing that Wofford, as explosive as they are, can score really very quickly if they need to, even though they run the football most of the time.
Cole Bergquist with 4 wide out of the shotgun. Hits Eric Allen across the 35, down inside the 30. 1st down for the Grizzlies at the 28-yard line.
Cole Bergquist, folks, 3rd down efficiency. I think it defines a quarterback really better than any statistic you can look at. How does he move his team when he needs to on 3rd down? How does he keep the sticks going? And Cole Bergquist this year, to me, this is the best thing that he's done in his maturation process. 46% for the season. That is just an outstanding 3rd down conversion rate, and that's because your quarterback's getting it done.
You mentioned it in the first half there, Grady, but the Grizzlies losing their top receiver, senior Ryan Bagley, 2 weeks ago at Idaho State. And Eric Allen has stepped up as a 3rd down possession receiver. And on 1st down, Cole Bergquist sacked by Leighton Baker.
Well, and it's a good play by Leighton Baker because Mike Ferder was just breaking across. They ran a good 3-layer crossing route, bringing 3 receivers, 1 shallow, 1 mid, and 1 deep post against that cover 3. It's a great route scheme, and Mike Ferder was just breaking open deep. If Cole Bergquist has a half more second, this is a touchdown. But Leighton Baker comes through and gets the sack and saves what would have been a touchdown.
1st sack of the season for the junior from St. Augustine, Florida. Hilliard, lots of room. Has the 1st down inside the 20 or no. Stopped just short, but twists just enough for the first down to the 17-yard line.
Well, the last couple times that Montana has run this read zone, Lex Hilliard has cut it back. This time, Wofford almost playing for the cutback. Watch this, folks. Instead of cutting it back, he just stays to the play side. Again, hasn't done that all game. He's cut it back. This time, he just stays on the play side and ends up getting a big carry. After the sack, first down. Lex Hilliard really starting to get into that groove. We talked about him getting better, Phil, as the game goes along. You get used to seeing it game in and game out. Right now, Lex has 23 carries, just went over the century mark. That's 100 yards for Lex Hilliard on the day.
The toss to Hilliard. Letting his block set up. Down inside the 10. Gain of 9.
And now he's got 109. And again, boy, he just gets so much stronger. The sign really of a very good back is how much better does he get as the game goes on. You think about those NFL backs, that's really the signature. And now the North end zone crazies are going crazy because they get this game to come to their end zone at the start of the fourth quarter.
1 quarter left to play in this first round playoff matchup. Montana still up 13-10.
Tonight on CSS, tune in at 7 Eastern for live football as Florida Atlantic visits Florida International. Stay tuned for championship boxing at 10:30.
Want to win big in your fantasy football league? Every week, join John Borick, fantasy guru John Hansen, and Bodog.net's Marshall Falk for top projections, injury updates, and sleepers.
Fantasy Fix on CSS, Thursday afternoons at 5 Eastern.
The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? What do you think he saw? The bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, the bear climbed over the mountain, and what do you think he saw?
When you fill someone's life with hope, you wind up adding a little more to your own. Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Start of the fourth quarter from Missoula, Montana, with a 13-10 lead, and the Grizzlies with a 2nd and 1 from inside the Wofford 10-yard line. Grizzlies in the eye. Lex Hilliard cuts it back, has a first down, brought down inside the 5-yard line.
Well, just what the doctor ordered, a straight-ahead run. You get the feeling right now that Wofford, there's no way, man-on-man, physically up front, that the Wofford Terriers can stop this Montana huge offensive line. And right now, that's what Coach Fennessy is doing, is just giving it straight ahead, out of the eye, an isolation play, follow the fullback, just get off the football, move the line of scrimmage, and to the tune of about 8 yards right there, and a 1st and goal. And how are you going to stop Montana and Lex Hilliard? 4 tries from the 3.
Bergquist out of the shotgun, keeps it himself on 1st and goal, cuts it back and stopped just short of the goal line. Kevin Adelman, the senior linebacker, with the stop at the 1.
Well, it was a 2-yard gain, and really this is a good run by Cole Bergquist. He doesn't mess around. Yeah, he's not the biggest, strongest guy compared to Lex Hilliard, but you know, right here, a lot of quarterbacks are going to juke their way around, but he sees that, hey, there's not a lot there. I'm just going to put my shoulder down, and I'm going to get as close as I can to that goal line. That is a nice run by Cole Bergquist.
2nd and goal. Hilliard gets the handoff and is stopped. No gain on the play, stopped at the 1-yard line.
Well, we're used to seeing Lex Hilliard kind of go over the top. It looked like kind of, I don't know if the steps were wrong on this play, but almost a little missed exchange here. You'll kind of see Lex almost had to hesitate for the ball. You don't quite see it, but just close to getting the ball even into his stomach there, and Lex kind of had to dance a little bit. And right here, I tell you what, Lex has gotten pretty good at going over the top. Oh, and a false start. tight end Robert Overton on the right side. It's going to be called for a false start. It's going to back Montana up. I mentioned about how do you stop Montana. 4 chances from the 3-yard line. Well, maybe you don't, but they might stop themselves. A little bit of missed execution, and now a penalty, and now we're 3rd and 6. What was 1st and goal from the 1 is now 3rd and goal from the 6. You see just on your right side there, Overton just flinches just a little bit, and I guarantee you we were going to see Lex Hilliard going over the top. Now look for one of the receivers to come up big.
3rd and goal from the 6. Bergquist out of the shotgun. Has his tight end Stephen Thaler in the slot. Looking for the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Eric Allen. 4th down coming up, and here comes the field goal unit.
Well, folks, that is an enormous, enormous stop. 2nd and goal from the 1-yard line, and Wofford turns away Montana, forces a field goal. What a huge stand by the Terrier defense right there. How big is that going to be as this game draws down the stretch here in the 4th quarter?
Philman Dawkins, the junior cornerback, shaken up on the play, being attended to in the end zone.
When they had the matchup on the backside, Eric Allen one-on-one with Dawkins, just ran a little slant route. Good call, just a one-on-one matchup that Eric Allen's going to win most of the time. Fans definitely wanted a little bit of pass interference down there, but Dawkins does a nice job and covering it, and Cole was just a little bit too much to the inside with that ball. But again, what a huge, huge stand by the Terrier defense when looked like there's almost no way they're going to stop him after a great drive of punishing runs by Lex Hilliard, but they turn him away and force a field goal.
Dan Carpenter on to attempt the field goal. His kick is up and good. So the Grizzlies tack 3 more onto the board. They cut it out to a 16-10 lead. We'll be right back.
Don't miss the Georgia Tech College Football Replay. Tuesday night at 9 Eastern.
It may seem intimidating, but really, it's one of the easiest things you can ever do.
I've been practicing.
Good. You're gonna need it.
Help America's youth. Be a friend. Be a mentor. Just be there.
Go to bigbrothersbigsisters.org.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay. Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern.
Just got word Appalachian State has pulled off a win over James Madison in another first-round FCS playoff game. So App State advancing to the next round. There's your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive for news and statistics on all Grizzly athletics. Log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com. Dan Carpenter, a line drive kick taken inside the 10. And Sean Less met and sent backwards. Ball will be marked down inside the 20 at the 19-yard line.
We'll give credit where credit's due. After the Idaho State game, when a kickoff return was taken all the way back to the house, Coach Hout got after his kickoff coverage unit, and they have done a nice job. Brandon Fisher right there, number 25. Mike Shelton in on the play. Just a good job of covering by Montana's kickoff team.
1st and 10 from the 19. Collier back to throw. Lofts it up and has a man open. Andy Strickland across midfield. First pass completion of the game for the Terriers.
Well, and what a big call, too, because they're backed up. The north end zone crazies are going crazy. It's allowed down there, but Collier with an outstanding pass, really his first good pass of the day. And it looked like Montana did a nice job of covering. Both guys really were double covered, but I think a miscommunication at the very end. And what a shot Collier takes, but delivers an accurate throw. You can see the double coverage right there. Two guys running with him, but Collier just does a good job of putting it out in front of the wide receiver. And it's a huge play across midfield now for the Terriers.
Strickland, the junior from Gaffney, South Carolina. The team's leading receiver to get Wofford into Grizzly territory. Collier on the option. The pitch to Johnson. Picks up 6 on the play.
Well, the Grizz have definitely made some nice adjustments, and they've gotten better at stringing this option out all day long. As the game has progressed, they've made improvements, but you see how quickly the Terriers get to the edge. Right here, it starts with the quarterback riding the dive fake and keeping the defensive tackles and the linebackers on that, and then you're going to see an outside linebacker come up and force the pitch. But the speed of Kevius Johnson getting to the edge, big pickup on first down.
Collier to throw again. This time hits Fenn Allen, the junior tight end from Concord, North Carolina. He picks up 5 and moves the chains for Wofford.
Well, Fenn Allen was a second-team Southern Conference selection, had a nice year, and as a tight end in this offense, you're probably not going to get too much action. When you do get it thrown your way, a lot of times it's for big plays, but obviously Fenn Allen is a very good blocker, probably considered by them to really be another offensive tackle, and just had a nice year for them, earning second-team all-conference honors.
1st and 10 from the Grizzly 36. Hobbs has a hole up the middle. Van Cooper puts a stop on him after he crosses the 30 down to the 29-yard line.
Well, you talk about execution, folks, and you talk about Fenn Allen being a second-team all-conference selection. If we get a replay here, watch the young man right here on your right side of your screen. He's going to wrap around. The tackle kicks out. Okay, look at him here. He's going to come in and seal the linebacker right there, number 88. A very well-executed scheme and a good block by the tight end. Another big chunk of yardage in the running game because of good execution and good blocking up front.
2nd and 3. Collier on the option. The pitch to Johnson, has a block across the 20, cuts it back at the 15, forced out of bounds. Just inside the 15-yard line.
Well, and again, trying to get one extra blocker in your scheme. When you draw up a scheme on a chalkboard, obviously you're not going to be able at times to block everybody based on the way the play's going and the design of the play. But look at how they block for each other. Romero on the lead, cuts down Chris Clark on the outside. Great job blocking for his teammate. And another big chunk of yardage on the option for the Terriers.
Kevius Johnson, 14 carries, 114 yards on the afternoon. 1st and 10 from the Montana 11. Collier again on the option, keeps it. Brought down at the 5-yard line.
Well, elusive or shifty or whatever you want to call it, I tell you what, he makes things happen. He makes guys miss. Very rarely do you see the first guy bring him down. Collier's always able to make the first man or two miss. But what's amazing is after he makes that first guy miss, watch right here, Kyle Ryan. Nope, misses him, and then he just turns it up with explosiveness and really turns what seems to be short gains into bigger gains.
2nd and 5. Terriers can pick up a first down at the 1-yard line. Collier again on the option. The pitch to Johnson. Locked down in the backfield, Jermaine Olsen. A tackle for a loss.
That's good play out of your cornerback right there, coming up and forcing the play. Read the option early and get up there to force that play back inside or make the tackle if the option or if the quarterback pitches it on the option. You see right here, Jermaine Olsen, nice job. Kevius Johnson is a quick, shifty back, almost makes him miss, but Clark stays with it for no gain. Big play for Montana's defense, 3rd and 5.
3rd and 5 from the 6-yard line. Again, they can pick up a first down at the 1. Josh Collier out of the shotgun. Keeps it himself and goes nowhere.
How many times do you see Montana allow a team to drive down the field on them, but once they get inside the red zone, the 20-yard line and in, they just flex their muscles and say, no way. Interesting decision for Coach Ayers right here. It looks like for sure he's going to go for it.
That he is. Big down for Mike Ayers and the Wofford Terriers. 4th and 5. Collier to throw, looking for the end zone, caught, touchdown.
Well, a great job by Collier of being patient, hanging in there and waiting for Andy Strickland to come open. He had to sit in there for quite a while as that play developed and let Andy Strickland, you're not going to be able to see what he does at the top of the screen, but he acts like he's going to come all the way across the field on a drag route. Then he stops and works back to the outside, and sure enough, what a great job of squeezing that ball in his hands. That's the key. He squeezes it in his hands, even though he gets hit right after, hangs on to it.
Patrick Mugen's extra point is good, and the Terriers take a 1-point lead here midway through the 4th quarter on Andy Strickland's 4th receiving touchdown of the year. And we have a battle.
When it comes to sports in Atlanta, Applebee's and the Atlanta Sports Council want to determine who Atlanta's best athletes are. Stop by any Metro Atlanta Applebee's location through December 9th to find out how to nominate your favorite athletes from high school to the pros and learn how to win the ultimate Atlanta sports ticket to see your favorite Atlanta pro teams in action. The best Atlanta athletes will all be competing for an illustrious Atlanta Sports Award. Go to atlantasportsawards.com for more information. No purchase necessary to nominate.
Here, all the way back to the 15.
John Parker Wilson bounced back a little bit to 2 touches.
Guy's a proven veteran and a big game pitcher. He says he tweaked his back and needs to go on the DL. He needs to go on the DL.
Oh, please, will you give me a break? The guy is a wuss. He pitches once every 5 days. He's in the worst division in baseball. He is a spoiled, pampered softy. Easy on the cuticles.
What makes them different makes them great. Mike and Mike in the morning.
Wofford retakes the lead on the touchdown pass from Josh Collier to Andy Strickland. There's your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive. For news and statistics on all Grizzly athletics, log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com. So midway through the 4th quarter, a 1-point lead for Wofford. As Mark Mariani takes the kickoff at the 15-yard line, waits for the wedge. Gets it across the 30, across the 40, forced out of bounds just about midfield. So Montana will take over with good field position.
Well, and once again, the second wedge. Obviously, the first wedge on this kickoff return is doing its job. But you watch this second wedge right here. They have done a great job. Really, I think the last 4 or 5 games of the season, Paul LaMantia, what Coach Houck does is put Eric Michael, Paul LaMantia, Carson Bender, a couple bigger guys back in that second wedge, and they just do a fantastic job of cleaning up anything that's left after the first wedge does its job and opening up that hole. And the Grizzlies have enjoyed outstanding field position all day as another man is down for the Wofford Terriers on the Montana sideline. Montana's going to get to start this drive down by 1 point is all at midfield.
Well, while we check on the injured Terrier, time now for our second half. Don Adson Ford trivia here, Grady. You did well in the first half. Overshot it by about 80 yards, but we'll see how you do here in the second half. Former Wofford graduate and longtime Air Force head coach Fisher DeBerry was head coach at Wofford in what sport?
Wow. So football is obviously not the right answer because
not obviously.
It might be too obvious.
You're right.
I mean, I would think it would be football, but maybe he coached swimming.
Baseball.
Well, there you go.
Baseball is the answer. Thanks again for trying, Grady. We stumped you this week with some Wofford trivia. Derek Swindoll, the senior linebacker, was the player shaken up on the play. He has been helped off as Montana takes over with a 1st and 10 from their own 49. Lex Hilliard. Wrapped up by Seth Goldwire after he picks up 2.
Well, and Seth Goldwire, first team all-conference in the Southern Conference, which is a great conference, by the way, just from top to bottom, might be, I think it is rated the best FCS conference in the country from top to bottom. It is a great league. So if you're a first team all-league linebacker, you're pretty good. And again, that play looked like it had a long ways to go, but Goldwire wraps Lex Hilliard up for only a 2-yard gain.
Bergquist to throw on 2nd down, gets rid of it, has Mike Ferreter over the middle. Ferreter with 1st down yardage brought down at the 35-yard line.
Well, you can execute in the running game, and we've seen that all day, really out of both teams, but with precision in the option game out of Wofford, you can also execute out of the passing game. What a beautiful route right here, just well executed by the receiver, sitting down right in the zones, right in the holes that are vacated by dropping defenders, and Cole Bergquist finds the right guy and puts it right on the money.
1st down from the Wofford 35. Hilliard. Again, picking up 2 up the middle. As the clock winds down below 6.5 minutes.
Well, the one thing that everybody in the stadium knows is that Montana possesses one of the best weapons in the entire country, the leading field goal kicker in FCS history in Dan Carpenter. But obviously getting more than that, being aggressive and going down and getting a touchdown would really help your cause right here. Definitely what Montana's looking for.
2nd and 8. Play action. Bergquist looking for the end zone. Eric Allen caught and out of bounds at the 2-yard line.
Fantastic protection by the Montana offensive line. Even in the face of pressure, they picked it up, they slid to the left. Lex Hilliard, as he does so well, just stepping up. Watch this, folks. J.D. Quinn's going to pull out. Him and Lex Hilliard are going to double team. Watch the aggressiveness right there. Nice job. And one-on-one, a flag route, a post corner. Eric Allen, no chance for the cornerback, matched up Dawkins. And now here's Montana with a 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. They have to be licking their chops after coming up short last time.
The toss to Hilliard, trying to get the corner, diving for the pylon and forced out of bounds just short. No, they give him a touchdown.
A tough call. We'll have to look at a replay, and obviously there are no challenges in college football, and there's no way to even go upstairs to a replay booth to overturn this, so it's going to stand. The line judge from the Southland Conference gives Lex Hilliard the touchdown. It almost looks like Lex Hilliard maybe should have cut up inside right here and gone inside of Dan Carter, but he jumps, he tries to stick the ball over, and the ref thought that he got it there. Like I said, there's no way you can reverse that now, and Montana's going to do the smart thing, go for 2 to make this a 7-point game. Being up by 5 doesn't do you much good to go up by 6 versus 7, so definitely important to get to 7, and they're going 5 wideouts here on the goal line.
Bergquist, the bubble screen to Thomas Brooks Fletcher, and it bounces out of bounds. So the incompletion ends up netting zilch. Grizzlies have taken the lead here in the 4th.
Don't miss the Clemson at South Carolina college football replay. Wednesday night at 9 Eastern.
Hey, thanks for stopping by. You know, I followed your character since the first episode. I'm a big fan, big fan.
Thank you.
And listen, your storyline, it makes for incredible TV drama. Thing is, your drug use is very adult content. Too adult for the kids. So I'm gonna have to block you.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Well, have a good one.
You're a nice lady.
Horseradish. Is that for horses? Remember me, Mr. Lobster? From last Tuesday? Banana. 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 Here comes the rain. We need a hat. And why do we need a hat? That's right.
When you talk with your child, you build vocabulary, and learning starts long before school does. For more tips, go to bornlearning.org.
Lex Hilliard's 52nd career touchdown at the University of Montana gives the Grizzlies a 5-point lead here in the fourth quarter. There's your MontanaGrizzlies.com scoring drive. For news and stats on all Grizz athletics, log on to MontanaGrizzlies.com.
Well, and the 52nd one, Phil, might have been a little bit questionable, but it was good, and it's going to count, and it's going to go down in the history books and the record books. And right now, Montana fans are just rooting for their defense and hoping that that won't be the last touchdown that they get to see from Mr. Lex Hilliard.
Sean Lease takes it across the 20, across the 30, where he stopped at the 31-yard line. That's where Josh Collier and the Terriers will take over here. Mike Ayers has one timeout left, his team trailing by 5. But they have been able to move the ball on this Montana defense. A couple of score updates for you elsewhere in the FCS playoffs. In the third quarter, Southern Illinois up 20-3 on Eastern Illinois. Get to a few others here in a second. Collier dealing with the noise at Washington Grizzly Stadium. And the handoff to Hobbs. And Hobbs gains 5 on first down. A couple other scores. We mentioned Appalachian State coming from behind. A 28-27 one-point victory over James Madison. And UMass all over Fordham, 49-35 the final in that game.
Well, you know, as I examine the bracket this year, Phil, I really believe this may be one of the deepest fields, one of the most talented fields that there ever has been. This seems like from top to bottom, all 16 teams are very solid, just a lot of competition, a lot of depth, and it's just going to be some great games as these playoffs continue to progress.
Second down for the Terriers. And the handoff on the end around to Marshall. Marshall picks up 6 and a first down.
Well, and once again, in their blocking schemes, they just simply get more people at the point of attack than the defense has. As they run their various schemes, you can see here you've got a good seal block on the outside. You get a good lead block. Again, Romero, what an outstanding blocker. I mean, he's a great runner. He does a lot of things for him. He's thrown some touchdowns this year, halfback passes, but he is a very good blocker. And those guys on the perimeter have been doing a nice job blocking for each other all day long.
First and 10 from their own 43. Collier out of the shotgun. The option to Johnson. Johnson across midfield, a pickup of 8.
Well, that time Justice Joslin, the wide receiver, number 84, did a nice job again, as well as Romero. And you can just tell these guys are such a good team. They're teammates. They play hard for each other. And every play that one guy carries the ball, his friends are out there blocking hard for him.
Second and 2 for the Terriers. They trail by 5. Collier to Johnson. Johnson picks up a first down to the Montana 46.
But when the Montana defense has had success, it's been when they've been able to get a good stop on first down. Normally today, I'd like to see what the rushing average is for the Wofford Terriers on first down, because they have ripped off consistently 7, 8, 10, whatever, big gains on first down, which put them in second and short, and it's almost hopeless to try to stop them. But if the Montana defense has been able to shut them down on first down, then better things have happened for them on second and third down. First and 10,
now inside Montana territory. Up the middle is the fullback Hobbs. 7-yard gain inside the 40-yard line.
Well, just as I talked about, Phil, first down run, 7-yard gain. Boy, does that put pressure on you defensively. Now you got second and third down, and they only need 3 yards to move the sticks. And when a team can run the ball this effectively, boy, it just makes you feel hopeless, like there's really no way you can stop them.
Well, the way Coach Ayers has played today and so far this season, they've got second, third, and fourth down to pick up 3 yards. 3 minutes to play. Collier out of the shotgun. Gives it to Johnson, and Johnson stopped in the backfield.
Well, and I think this is a good read right here by Kevius Johnson. I believe this was going to be a reverse, but great penetration by Croy Bierman, a man whose name we have not called. You watch the top of your screen. Croy Bierman shoots up the field. This is going to be a reverse, I think, but he is right there to blow the play up. And Kevius Johnson has to keep the ball and turn it up. Huge play. And now a 3rd and 5 for Montana. The clock is ticking. 2.5 minutes to go.
Third and 5. Collier to throw. Looks to the outside and completes it. Justice Jocelyn with a first down pickup.
Well, you got to give the young man credit, Collier, for starting out so rough. Only 3 passes early in the game. 2 of them were intercepted, and 1 almost was. His last few throws have been on the money. In the face of pressure, Collier has stepped up and done a very nice job in the passing game his last 3 or 4 throws. As the clock ticks below 2 minutes, Phil, remember, Wofford only with 1 timeout. They had to burn 2 earlier in the game.
First and 10 from the Montana 33. Here's the option to Johnson. Johnson breaking tackles, diving down inside the 20. Picks up a first down, finally marked at the 15-yard line.
Boy, and Lauren Utterback, the outside linebacker, first team All-Big Sky, does his best to try to catch the fast Kevius Johnson, but you can see right there, unable to do so, and Kevius breaks free. Another first down. Montana's season hangs in the balance. 1:30 to go. Ball on the 16-yard line.
First and 10 from the 16. Trick play broken up in the backfield. Colt Anderson sniffed out the reverse.
What a great call by Coach Paulson. Brings a strong safety blitz right here. Colt Anderson, you can see from his strong safety position on a strong safety blitz. Perfect timing on the call. Runs right through the vacated hole. Huge call, Coach Paulson, and of course, great execution by Colt Anderson.
Loss of 9 brings up 2nd and 19. Collier, the option to Marshall. Finding some room, stays in bounds and gets it down to the 12-yard line as the clock continues to run. And the Grizzlies will take a timeout with 40 seconds left, their first of the half. Chris Clark, senior corner for Montana, shaken up on the play. While we check on him, let's check in on our other, banking on the future this afternoon. This time we profile Eric Stoll, a 6'2", 200-pound safety from Sandpoint, Idaho. He transferred this spring from Idaho State and currently is a redshirt for the Grizzlies. He will have 3 years of eligibility left. He started 7 games for the Bengals last season. He had 43 tackles, 8 coming against the Grizzlies. His high school coach at Sandpoint was Sean Doris, a safety at UM and teammate of my partner in crime here, Grady Bennett. Eric Stoll, our Stewart Title Building for the Future featured athlete.
Well, absolutely. Eric Stoll, is a big young man for a safety, and that's the way Sean Doris was. Sean Doris was a great player here for the Grizz, a teammate of mine, and he was also a big young man, really was a hitter and roamed around back there, did a nice job for the Montana Grizzlies. 2nd down, actually should be 3rd down, I believe. Yeah, 3rd down and about 6. Huge play again. 40 seconds to go. Montana chose to stop the clock right there with the timeout. Wofford only has one timeout, so here we go.
Coming down to the wire in Missoula. Wofford stacked up in a power I. The option to Johnson. Gets the corner, forced out of bounds. Near first down yardage. We will wait on the spot to see if he made it.
It's going to be really close, and it looks like close enough to bring the chains over, but you can see the speed. Kevius Johnson just continues to get to the edge on Montana's defense. So much speed, so much quickness. I think he got it, Phil. I'm pretty sure he crossed in front of that orange marker. Of course, that's on the other side of the field, so it's hard to tell if that's exactly lined up with the chains all the way across the field, but I think it's going to be a first down, and you're going to get 4 cracks from Wofford from the 6-yard line to win this football game. So here's your challenge, Phil. With 35 seconds to go, 36 seconds to go, Wofford is 6 yards away from winning this football game, and all day long they've been able to chew up big chunks in their running game, and they have 4 plays to try to get those 6 yards.
Mike Ayers with 1 timeout remaining here in the game. First and goal from the 6. Fullback up the middle, touchdown, Michael Hobbs.
Well, that's a good call. It's a good call by Wofford. They've done such a nice job of getting to the edge. 6, 7, 8 plays in a row, it seemed like, getting to the edge, putting the pressure on the defense. So what do? You just run a simple straight dive, straight ahead run play. The offensive line gets off the football. And Wofford will probably go for 2 here. Should go for 2, because going up by 2 is going to still leave Dan Carpenter with potentially a long try to win the game. So you go for 2 to go up by 3. And Montana's going to need something really special to happen now.
The Grizzlies, with 32 seconds remaining in the game, they have 2 timeouts left. You see Michael Hobbs, the senior from Andalusia, Alabama, with a big touchdown run.
Well, and Montana's defenses, they played pretty well. I mean, you're going to look at the stats, and you're going to give up a lot of rushing yardage, but boy, 23 points on the board. A team that scores 38 points a game and rushes for 318, second best in the country. You got to be pretty happy that what I think bothers you right there is the 22. The fact that you had some chances, you had some turnovers, you had a first and goal on the 3, and you were unable to get touchdowns.
And the Terriers will go for the 2-point conversion. The pitch to Romero, fakes the throw, hucks it up in the end zone. It's caught, but it's brought down out of bounds.
Well, it's the first time that we've seen it all day. We expected to see that a little bit more. Romero was a high school quarterback. Thought we'd see this play a lot more today. And Romero actually does the right thing here. On a 2-point try, you can't just run out of bounds or get tackled short. Give it a shot, get it into the end zone, see what happens, and almost gets it done. But remember, in college, of course, he didn't get a foot down anyways. There's no force-out rule. He clearly landed out of bounds. And so no good. Montana only down by 1. They've had great success with their kickoff return. They've got 2 timeouts left, folks. So this game is not over. 32 seconds to go. Their kickoff return has been huge all day. You've got the best kicker in FCS history on your sideline and a pretty darn good quarterback in Cole Bergquist with 2 timeouts to work with. Definitely not over.
Trip Smith was the intended receiver on that 2-point conversion. He went up and made a nice grab, came down hard, out of bounds.
Well, and you wonder what Coach Ayers is thinking now. Definitely does not want to kick the ball deep. Last 2 times he's given up great field position. Montana's taken over at midfield, 50-yard line, 2 times in a row. So you look for a squib kick or something different right here, but I'm sure Coach Houck is expecting that as well. Move up that second wedge and allow your returners to come up and get it. You can see already they're lined up. They're moved up to the 20 almost. I'm sure expecting something like that.
Patrick Mugen, the squib kick. taken at the 24-yard line by Rob Schulte. Has a seam across the 40. Schulte hobbling, hops a blocker, brought down right at midfield. So the Grizzlies will take over in good field position. 26 seconds remaining, and Montana with 2 timeouts left.
Well, and that's great strategy. First of all, yes, you're going to squib kick it. That's a good strategical call. But the Grizzlies do a nice job, as I mentioned, of moving up their wedges and still allowing Schulte to return the ball. And third straight time down to the 50-yard line. Now it's up to the 50-yard line. It's now going to come down to Montana's offensive line. Can they give Cole Bergquist enough time to find receivers downfield? All they need is about 20 yards to get into Dan Carpenter range.
Bergquist on first down, rolling out, looking for the sideline, and has Mike Ferreter complete. A pickup of 9. Ferreter out of bounds, so the clock will stop.
I was going to say there's 9 yards of it, but the referees come in and say that he did not have control. We'll see if we can see on the replay what happened. I like the call. The play only took 4 seconds. It's a little rollout. And we'll see what happens. Oh, he was definitely juggling it. Good job by the officials. Not only did he juggle it out of bounds, but he never even ended up with it in his hands. So clearly an incomplete pass. Now 21 seconds to go. But still, only 15 to 20 yards needed for Dan Carpenter range.
Bergquist needs to get rid of it, and does. The pressure coming from Jared McCullough.
Well, and this is something you don't see very often. Lex Hilliard on the edge right here, supposed to secure the edge and just kind of misses the block and leaves his quarterback out to dry. Tries hard to come back right there, but 2 plays in a row now with just a little bit misexecution. And now the Grizzlies are down to only 17 seconds, still with 2 timeouts to go though.
It's James Gotzelin also in the backfield. So 3rd and 10 for Montana. Bergquist has time, dumps it across the middle. Complete to Eric Allen, brought down inbounds, and then they pickup of 9.
Well, here's the key here, Phil. They did get 9 yards, but now it is 4th and 1. So now you have to get the first down. Puts a lot more pressure on the play call because of the errors on 1st and 2nd down. Yes, you do get 9 yards, which is fine and dandy. You still need probably about 10 to be safe. But now it is 4th and 1. So the call you have to make right now, if you're Coach Houck, is you've got to get this first down. If you call 2 plays, you make sure you get the first down. You have a second play called because the clock will stop momentarily as the chains are moved. So you have that second play called and you run it right away after they move the chains and set the clock. And you still have time to throw 1 more pass, move the sticks, take your last time out, and to get Dan Carpenter out on the football field.
A lot to happen in 10 seconds. It comes down to this for the Grizzlies. 4th and 1. Bergquist out of the shotgun. Has Mark Mariani on the outside. Mariani down inside the 30. Brought down just about at the 29-yard line, and the clock stops with 4 seconds left. Bobby Houck takes his final timeout.
I think everybody in the stadium was putting their hands together in the timeout motion. They were either screaming for Mark Mariani to get out of bounds. It's a good, safe call. You get the first down. You run the quick hitch out here. But Mark Mariani, trying to make something happen, goes inside, and then instead of sprinting for the sideline, continues to go inside. Sign of a young receiver right there, potentially. But thankfully, Montana, they do get him down. If Mariani runs around a couple more seconds, this game's over. But fortunate, really fortunate to get tackled right there for the Montana faithful. And then immediately you see about 25,000 fans putting their hands together in the timeout signal. The clock is stopped, and on comes Mr. Dan Carpenter.
The all-time scoring leader in the football championship subdivision. Dan Carpenter lining up for what would be about a 48-yard field goal to win the game. His career-long 54 yards. Carpenter has the leg and it is no good. Wide left. Wofford shocks the Grizzlies. Pandemonium at midfield as Mike Ayers' team has come into Washington Grizzly Stadium and upset the third-seeded team. The Grizzlies' undefeated season comes to an end.
Well, you can see teammates trying to console Dan Carpenter. There's really nothing you're going to say to him right now that's going to make him feel any better. The best kicker in FCS history unfortunately missed his last kick as a Montana Grizzly, and I'll tell you this, Dan Carpenter is going to get a chance to kick on Sundays. So even though it ended the way he didn't want it to, of course.
Well, Bobby Houck has seen Dan Carpenter win him many a game here at Washington Grizzly Stadium, but it would not be today. Houck's 5th season at the University of Montana done, and the 22 seniors here for the Grizzlies done as well as the Wofford Terriers move on in the bracket. They will face the winner of Richmond and Eastern Kentucky next week in the second round of the football championship subdivision playoffs.
Well, it is a shocking and it's a tough end for what was really a phenomenal year for the Montana Grizzlies, going undefeated in the regular season. And of course, Phil, the first thing a lot of people do, the naysayers out there, is they want to start questioning what they said was a weak or a soft schedule, saying the Grizzlies were kind of overrated all year. And you can say all that, say what you want, but still, undefeated regular season, Montana saying goodbye to 22 outstanding seniors. And unfortunate that it had to end this way, but no way that any of these young men can hang their heads. And you see the sadness, of course. Feel bad for Dan Carpenter, but that young man, again, he's going to get his chance to play on Sundays. He's had a phenomenal career. You hate to see it end like that for him. And in a good sign of sportsmanship, the entire Wofford team is going to join the Montana kids, who every game after are going to gather in the middle of the field for a little prayer of thanks. Good gesture by Wofford. You got to give Coach Ayers credit. His team came in, they believed in their system, they continued to execute it. They never quit. They never quit believing. Even though Montana, I thought, made some good adjustments and played some pretty good defense, Wofford didn't quit.
Definitely did not. The Terriers came into Washington Grizzly Stadium today. Everybody said it was too cold for the Southern team. They were smaller than the Grizzlies, and they imposed their will on the Montana Grizzlies today, especially on the offensive side of the ball. The Terriers running their option effectively and coming in here and leaving with a win. Coach Ayers said it coming out of halftime, they'd either be going home, it'd be a long plane ride, or they'd be going home whooping it up and getting ready for next week, and that will be the case.
Well, and all you can really say about this game, if you're a Montana fan, is just really missed opportunities.
Derek Berkeley has caught up with the winning coach, Mike Ayers, fresh off his upset.
All right, Coach, congratulations. Tell me about the end of this game, how crazy this was on the sideline.
It was one of those 60-minute games. There's no doubt about that. Matter of fact, it came down to 4 seconds. Proud of my kids, proud of our staff. One of the toughest places we've ever been. They told us about it. We had the opinion, playing in front of 82,000 at Carolina, that it was allowed. It doesn't hold a candle to this place. We played a great football team. Montana is an outstanding football team. Well coached, disciplined. They do all the right things. We looked at them and we admired them on film for the way that they executed. We knew coming out it would be a tough 4-quarter deal. We knew coming out if we had any advantage, it was going to be we had to play some keep away with them with our offense, and then defensively somehow, some way come up with some stops. Did enough in the kicking game to survive. Thank goodness. Praise God. What a great win.
Yeah, I saw there almost a tear running down your cheek. Talk about the emotion and what this means to this program.
Oh, it's unreal. It's unreal. We've been there 20 years. Started out as an NAI school, go D2. We went D1. Everybody said we were crazy. Said we couldn't compete. And we since, I think, maybe changed some minds.
Thanks a lot, Coach. Congratulations. Well, Grizz fans might feel a little bit hole in their stomach from this loss, but at least they can say they got beat by one classy guy. Guys.
Thank you very much there, Derek. Mike Ayers, an emotional win for him and his Terriers program as they advance to the second round of the FCS playoffs. We will be back to wrap things up from Missoula. Final score, Wofford 23, Montana 22.
Don't miss the Ole Miss at Mississippi State College Football Replay, Sunday afternoon at 2 Eastern. CSS is Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern. Join Rusty on hunting and fishing adventures with some of the top outdoorsmen from around the region. While in studio, Rusty and special guests will help you become the ultimate outdoorsman with tips, tactics, and the latest gear. You'll also learn ways to help our wildlife through proper management and ways to bring new outdoorsmen into the sport. Don't miss Talking Outdoors at Rusty Falk, presented by Equalizer Tree Stands.
The Wofford Terriers come to Missoula and leave with a 1-point upset over the third-seeded Montana Grizzlies. 23-22 the final score. Grady Bennett, your final thoughts.
Well, what can you say? You know, Derek did mention that if you're going to lose in the first round, lose to a classy guy. And, you know, Mike Ayers, what a great job. Him and his program coming in here, you know, and we talked about it earlier, Phil, and I like the fact that, you know, once again, you hear a coach, they talk about, well, we played in front of 82,000, whatever, but there is something special, something very different about Washington Grizzly Stadium. When people come here and actually experience it, there's nothing like it. And I think that's why you hear guys like Jim Donnan and you know, very intelligent football guys like that make statements. So credit the fans, great year, cheering on your Montana Grizzlies. And, you know, to me, it was just really a game of missed opportunities. You look at the 2 turnovers early and then first and goal on the 3-yard line, and all Montana gets on those 3 golden opportunities is 3 points, and you lose by 1. And that's really what it comes down to in this ball game. But again, an outstanding year. You can't take anything away from Coach Houck and his staff and what they've accomplished, winning so many Big Sky titles in a row and so many straight playoff appearances in a row, an FCS record. Unfortunate that it has to end, and it's just sad that you're not going to get to see Lex Hilliard, Dan Carpenter, Croy Bierman. You think about those guys, you're not going to get to watch wear the maroon and silver anymore, and that's what makes you sad. But it was a great year, and credit all those young men. Sometimes that's the way the game of football goes. That's why you play them. That's why there's emotion. Sometimes fans don't understand that's why Coach Ayers can stand on the field right there and have tears in his eyes when you think about all the emotion and intensity that goes into this game, this war that just took place. They come in here and just steal a win like this. Wow, unbelievable.
Well, time now for our Northwestern Energy players of the game. For the Wofford Terriers, Kevius Johnson, 21 carries, 161 yards. He did not score a touchdown, but certainly set up a few. And on the other side of the ball, who else but Lex Hilliard for the Montana Grizzlies? What a career he has had here at the University of Montana. 29 carries, 120 yards, and 1 touchdown today as his career comes to a close. Northwestern Energy delivering a bright future. The Wofford Terriers advance to the next round with an upset over the third-ranked Montana Grizzlies. For Grady Bennett, Derek Berkeley, and the rest of our crew out in the cold today, thanks for joining us, everybody. I'm Phil Buck.